Now that he's got Twitter and Rumble, like stable platforms, he's starting to like actually blow up again, and that feels concerning. Dude, what the is happening? And when you realize that, when you realize he's like a total psychopath and he doesn't feel any real empathy for these people, but he's able to tap in like this, that feels fucking terrifying to me. If there was a conspiracy against him, those people, the optimal move for them would be JSTLK, the master of the drama, always like a double. A new fan channel for YouTube frogs. I don't think Ryle's stopped uploading. I think Ryle will upload, but there's another channel here if you guys do want to watch stuff on YouTube, like segments. Somebody's putting like segments on there. I don't know who it is. You guys can check it out. I'm not that person, you know. I'm interested to see if that channel will do well. Here, let me pull it up for you guys. I'm interested to see if it will do well, just because there's an insane civil war right now. Interesting. I should start doing my... Damn. I think I need to start planning for this more, actually, now that I'm looking at it. I'm just interested to see if this will get clapped or what happens with this. We'll see. Guys, you wanna go ahead and follow that? It's not JSTLK on YouTube, not _JSTLK. It is not run by me. It's just a fan channel, brand new. Okay, they posted a couple clips up there, a couple clips of segments. Go support them. It's gonna be a Fuentes heavy stream today because Fuentes is blowing up in the news. Fuentes is blowing up everywhere right now, okay? It's crazy. That's funny, Ruben. Probably not, but that is funny. Why is Sam Hyde's fucking resolution is so stupid, dude? What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing with his life? Can you stop shooting in the ultra-wide IMAX format?
Brought to you by Hale.
This is fucking crazy.
Is that the actual
Why do I have to deal with
the
this?
microphone cradle is by Hale.
Heil what? It's just Heil.
It's never just Heil. We know this. It's never just a simple Heil. Guys, welcome back to the Sam Hyde Show. Very proud to present Nick Fuentes. Fresh off his Candace Owens interview. That was fun.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Man, it's wild to see that, like, the populist movement, I feel like, is falling in line behind Fuentes. And I think a lot of other people are starting to see it, that, like, he is blowing up now that he's not deplatformed, right? Now that he's got Twitter as a platform, now that he's got Twitter and Rumble, like, stable platforms, he's starting to, like, actually blow up again. And that feels concerning. That feels very concerning. I feel like vindicated for the takes I had on him before. JSTLK be like, I liked him before he was cool. I think he's funny, but the reason I started watching him is because it was like concerning to me that somebody who is deplatformed for like dangerous views was like that compelling, and it was that he speaks to populists in a way that other people don't, right? He really does. Twitter and Rumble have real numbers. I mean, Twitter definitely has real numbers, is botted to shit, but like you can look at it relative, right? You can say like, oh, Twitter numbers are fake, but if you look at it relative to other people on there, like those people get money, those people are influential. I don't know how much of Fuentes' shit is botted. I suspect a lot of it is. I suspect in like right-wing influencer circles that like there are people with money who just bought these people in addition to them having fan bases, but Fuentes has a fan base that he can mobilize too.
Fun.
I had to stop listening at about an hour because she was yapping so much.
Yeah, it's really more like an interrogation.
She was coming after, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what her problem is.
JSTLK Gunnar, did you just listen to anything I said? Did you just listen to anything I said? Or did you like ignore all of it? I'm paused and like waiting for your response now. Because I literally just explained why you would think the numbers are impressive, regardless of it being botted. I've heard a lot of it's botted too. It might be. But obviously there's still signal there through the noise, okay? Signal persists.
Still might be a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is an epic crash out. I think it's over. This is Zognald Blumpf and the final stand. I'm afraid of what's going to happen next. I think he's going to turn the cannons on us now.
You think Trump's going to go after the alt-right?
Wait. Okay.
I do. I think it's over. I think it's been over.
The entire world is sexually blackmailed by Mossad. Do mainstream people know this?
I think so.
Dude, this is crazy. You can hear Sam Hyde's leather jacket through the mic. Like, I don't need to know. I could close my eyes as a blind person and identify the kind of jacket Sam Hyde is wearing.
The name's
blackmailed by Mossad.
Like, he is, listen to him stop talking and he's like bursting out of his jacket.
Mossad. Do mainstream people know this?
I think so. The name's Epstein.
I hear the like, the adjustments of the leather.
So it's
crazy.
kind of hard to ignore.
Regular people know about Epstein.
Well, it was absolutely blatant. You know, he goes to jail for sex trafficking, dies mysteriously. The cameras were turned off. Nobody was there.
I saw this. Dude, this is the other thing. It's funny that, I don't know if it's like, is Israel just the only thing that can be like a political issue? It's like an economic issue and a culture issue at the same time. Perfectly deals into, like, plays into populism. I think everything is becoming about Israel, right? Every single political issue in North America is just Israel. Israel, 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 Israel. This is like what it is now. Biden didn't touch the wall. How come nobody cares? I always point it out. I point it out every time. Biden didn't touch the wall. Biden doesn't have to touch the wall. But it's crazy to me that, like, it's everything. And that's probably why Fuentes is blowing up, right? Because he's an outspoken critic of Israel. Another word for that would be, like, virulent anti-Semite, I guess, but also outspoken critic of Israel. I think that's another reason he's blowing up, is because people are just, like, so done. The populist wings of both parties are just so done with Israel that, like, they need a champion.
I actually just discovered this last week. Bill Barr was the attorney general when he killed himself. That means he was overseeing the federal prison that Epstein was detained in. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Bill Barr's father was the principal of the school that Jeffrey Epstein worked at in the 1970s?
Oh my God.
Jeffrey Epstein was hired by Bill Barr's dad at the Dalton School in 1974. And then his son, Bill Barr, oversaw the detention facility that he died at. So it's just beyond parody. And it became a meme. Epstein didn't kill himself. The meme should have been the Jews killed Epstein to keep him shut,
Jesus.
Because it's like, well, who killed him then? It just does to show you get one side or the other. If you get the left, you get George Soros. If you get the right, you get Jeff Epstein in Israel. So
it's nice how that story came full circle, though. It's a generational thing. We were talking about people in the CIA, some of them wanting to push war with China. Why would people want this? Why is it like a thing that anybody would push for?
You have three real countries in the Middle East. You have Turkey, Egypt, and Iran. Everything else is basically a construct. Everything else is fake. Egypt and Turkey have been pro-Israel for 50 and 80 years each. Iran's the only major country that still opposes them in the region. So the Jews want a war with Iran because that's basically the last opponent. China, for obvious reasons.
That sounds kind of badass.
It is.
I got chills when you said they're the last opponent. Made me think I was watching some badass action movie.
So that's why they want a war with Iran. They want a war with China. Elements in the U.S. want that because they're going to be the next great competitor. They're going to be the next great power competitor. But I don't mind them, actually. I think the Chinese are all right.
I'm just thinking, what would you need? Would you need to go to war with somebody if they're going to be a competitor?
No, not necessarily.
Does it necessitate bombing and going to war? I'm just thinking what many great leaders have thought for thousands of years, Ryan.
When are you not thinking like many great leaders throughout the...
Indeed. Anyway.
It's a shame that it cracked.
Dude, what the fuck is happening? What is happening?
You're just doing your most comfortable movements.
Well, I have to break it in.
Dude, this code is popping off.
Here, I don't have time to break it in when I'm not on the show.
Is that regular leather?
This is Indian goat leather for real. Atop the blazer,
Oh,
he's
dropped it. Okay. We don't have to listen to the code anymore.
The fuck are these? Whose are these?
Oh, nice.
I found those out of gas.
Isn't it weird that these America First people are so soft on the rivals of America like China and Russia? Sometimes they're soft on Russia. You can explain that a little bit through the identitarianism with Fuentes and people like that, but I'd say the Russia thing is more concerning. Probably, I don't think the Fuentes types are soft on China, to be honest. Rewind 5 seconds, wait. Sam blurs his bald spot.
I might put it back on later.
Just throw it on top of the shoulders.
Atop the blazer,
Tie it around the waist like Raven.
Tie it around the waist.
I didn't see it. Yes, he does. It's like a little yarmulke, like a little kippah.
Immigrants, people vote because we hate seeing like Venezuelans peddling candy bars on the street. And every year we just get tax cuts. We get a corporate tax cut and like $1 trillion defense budget and more wars for Israel. So that's basically what was in the bill. And
see, this is the problem, is these guys are just going to agree on like everything, and it's not. It's like then they're just going to be one-upping each other. It might be a very boring direction for this to go in.
Here's the best part. They're going to revoke citizenship of people that criticize Israel and then deport them to Libya and Africa.
I remember when they were deporting people for being pro-Palestine, people on, was it student visas?
Yep.
So people who were, listen, we don't want Arabs in this country, but they were in this country legally here to study. and they were being deported because they were critical of Israel. And I saw a lot of people on the right sort of cheering that, like they didn't understand why that might be a bad thing. So what, they're gonna deport who now?
Citizens. They're revoking the citizenship.
How does that work? What does that mean?
So if you're a naturalized citizen, meaning you attain it after you were
Okay, all right. I was like very
country,
confused.
you come here, get your citizenship. They say the top
Dude.
5 priorities of the DOJ this year will be revoking naturalized citizenship from anybody that is a threat to Israel or criticizes Israel.
Holy shit.
That's the new move.
Do you think that Rosie O'Donnell's a test run for a straight up citizen? She was born in America.
She was.
And Trump was saying that, like, it's probably...
Dude, see, this. I was told this, that, like, DOJ top 5 priorities, Israel. That, like, if you want to do this, you probably have to just look stuff up the whole time. So I would want to know what they're talking about explicitly. We don't want Arabs in this country. I'm just like very curious what they're talking about here, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna actually unnaturalize. We're gonna take naturalized citizens who criticize Israel and revoke their citizenship. That seems crazy.
Like
that
the
seems
test
like
subject.
not
if
possible.
Everybody hates Rosie, so we're gonna deport her, and then everybody's gonna be like, yeah. And then now you've opened that door.
Is Nick bigger than Ben Shapiro now? Ben seems like a rhino now, and Nick what Ben used to be in 2017. No, Nick is not like Ben Shapiro at all. They're not the same thing. They're not even close. Nick still has like no establishment connections, essentially. Nick is still very much on the outside looking in. He's like a totally online figure, right? Ben Shapiro is very, very connected to a lot of people. Ben Shapiro's got a lot of motion in elite circles. Nick has none of that. They're like very, very, very different archetypes. Ben, you could say maybe started as an online guy, but he didn't really. Like, he was starting from a position where he wanted to be, I think he wanted to be in like a position of authority from early on in his career. Like he always was like, yeah, he just networks like super hard. Oh, this would be interesting to hear them talk about Palantir. Dude, Fuentes hates Teal. I think Fuentes went on a whole thing about Teal today. You've seen that disastrous interview between Ben and that British journo? Was a while back. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. You're watching this on Twitch? I am watching this on Twitch currently, yes. Are we going to get into, like, bad space? I would have thought we were going to be fine on Twitch, but maybe not. Are we not going to be fine on Twitch here? Is this like, not a good thing? What?
Came in on the heels of Doge. Elon Musk brought Doge in to every department, to the IRS, the Treasury Department, education, the rest of it. And everyone that worked in Doge had also worked for Palantir.
Okay. Guys, if you're on Twitch, head over to Kick, okay? I'm just going to go Kick only because I don't know where this is going. And I don't have the time to disavow everything right now. So go over to Kick. We're going to go Kick only for the rest of the show. It's going to be a lot of Fuentes stuff anyway with the whole versus the Matrix thing. So I love you guys. If you're over on Twitch, head over to Kick. Okay, head over to Kick. Kick. We're going on Kick, okay? I love you guys. I'll be back. Or I won't be back. I'm not going anywhere. You just listen to this shit.
You're right.
Now, all you gotta know about this rant is Fuentes has described like actual antipathy for these exact people that he's about to like champion. And when you realize he's like a total psychopath and he doesn't feel any real empathy for these people, but he's able to tap in like this, that feels fucking terrifying to me. That he is able to message like this and speak with passion, and he has actual like antipathy for these people. I think antipathy is the right word, right? Yeah, actual antipathy for these people. And he speaks like he has full empathy, like he totally understands.
I'm
it's
being
crazy.
accused of being the CIA by Peter Thiel's best boys, by Tucker Carlson with his daddy. Tucker Carlson's, and you know what? Here's the other thing. Tucker Carlson said I'm a weird gay kid in the basement. Yeah, and I'm from Chicago. You're right. Well, okay, you're not right about all of that. But I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Tucker Carlson says, I have so many trust funds, I never have to work. Tucker went to a $45,000 per year private high school, then a $45,000 per year selective Ivy League school in New England. Tucker Carlson's daddy was a Reagan appointee. And then, after years of bragging about being an elite, bragging about being so out of touch and so rich, now he's going to be the spokesperson for all the white people. Now he's going to roll up his sleeves. I just like to hunt and fish in my log cabin. I care about Klarna and credit card debt. But then when it comes to me, I'm one of the real disaffected white people. You want to talk about me and them? I am them. He says Nick Fuentes is leading all of the disaffected young white men. I am a disaffected young white man. I was a precocious, intelligent, young white college student who went to Boston University, who was pro-Trump and red-pilled by Trump and animated by Trump's message of America first. And I asked questions about Israel, and I was punished for it. I did it years before Tucker Carlson started talking about Israel last year. And I sacrificed, and I was targeted by the
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm using the bathroom.
ADL, by the SPLC, by the federal government, by the conservative movement that both Candace and Tucker were a part of. Candace and Tucker had nothing to say about Israel until it became unavoidable last year. Not popular, but unavoidable. And now they want to gatekeep me out and do this personality attack and say I'm a bitter loser in my basement from Chicago. I'm a kid from Chicago. And they slipped up there because they forgot for 1 second that they're pretending to be the spokesperson for exactly that kind of person. Tucker's mask slipped, and he forgot for a minute that for 8 years he's been pretending to care about the plight of weird kids in their parents' basement who are broke and didn't go to an Ivy League school, living in cities that don't matter like Chicago, not like Washington, D.C. or L.A. or New York. And that's why he had such disdain and contempt for me in that moment. Between the personality attacks, he's lonely, he's weird, he lives in a basement. I'm sorry, did you guys forget that that's your target audience that you're trying to pander to? Did you forget that for 2 seconds? And I'm the inauthentic person? I am that person. I am a spokesman for the disaffected white man because I am one, and you two are not. Candace Owens got married to British royalty worth $200 million after meeting him for 2 weeks on Zoom. What the fuck is even that about? And Tucker Carlson's dad ran the CIA's propaganda empire fighting the Soviet Union. He went and fought with the Contras when he was in college. When I was in college, I was doing a webcam show in my friend's dorm room criticizing Israel. So who's the CIA cutout? Who's the inauthentic one? Who's the crazy, hateful one? I would never describe a well-meaning young white person who's trying to get ahead as a weird kid in his basement from Chicago. And what is that supposed to mean? What is wrong with being from Chicago? What is wrong with being weird? What is wrong with living in your basement? That's a lot of people because of the problems you claim to care about. Tucker's at Turning Point USA extolling the predatory nature of usury and how it's preventing young white men from getting homes.
Oh, Destiny, do you want to come on the stream? If you believe Kelly, you want to hop on the stream? You're welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, so anyway, as we were saying, guys, okay, hold on. What was I? Oh, right. So keep in mind that while he's talking about how much anger he feels for these people, how much outrage he feels for these people, he's also gone on rants just describing how much he hates poor people, how much he hates like people who don't do anything with their lives, right? He's gone on and described when he gets his super chats, my God, like when he describes like the losers that are in his super chats, you never believe it, okay? It's crazy. Yeah, that's true, Frenzy Freeze. Yeah, I won't let her on stream. No.
And then the week after says you're in your mom's basement. So which is it? Do you care about Klarna and people going into debt to order pizzas and home ownership being impossible? Or do you think that's a contemptible, low-status thing to be ridiculed and mocked? Who's pandering here exactly? Because that wasn't you. You were born to the Swanson family fortune and your daddy who ran the CIA. You know, my dad didn't even graduate college. My dad worked for the tollway. His dad died of a drug overdose in the 70s. My mother's father was a garbage man in Chicago.
You should have a floating... Oh, hold on. I did see this earlier. If we were going to pull stuff up, right? What was this? Oh, right. What was... The funny thing is, I've never even walked around in public or private with a butt plug in. I feel like, by the way, he posted this last night while he was on the stream? Strangely? Sorry, while he was in the stream chat, I mean. While he was in the stream chat, he posted this. He was like seething about the butt plug comments last night while posting in the stream chat. And then he tweeted this to try to go back at Anna Kasparian. And it's like, brother, the logs are here. The logs are literally, why would you just get people to post the logs in your replies? Grabbing a plug and about to spend a few minutes working it in. Fuck no, lol, I'm just starting. I'm still coming down off my Vyvanse, so I'm gonna make this count, okay? I only came once this morning. Grabbing a plug and about to spend a few minutes working it in. Distressed face. Yeah, fuck, it's been a while, lol. Do you want any audio of me trying to get this in? No clue if you like audio or not. Took me 2 tries, Monday, 11:29 p.m. Monday, 11:33 p.m. I want to know what, like, the failing audio sounds like. What does the failing audio sound like here? Why would you send audio of you failing to insert a butt plug with a girl whose age you have not yet confirmed, who people suspect may be below the age of 18? Why would you do that exactly? Why would you do that? Why would one do that exactly? Ow, it really hurts. What is this even? What could this possibly be? I'd love it. Fuck, anytime you're in Miami, okay? Wait, were her replies deleted here? Oh, that's rough. Wait, wasn't there another one here though? Wasn't there another reply with other stuff? There's actually one more log. Oh, right, the one that shows that he actually, do you think he told Melina that he took the butt plug? Do you think he told her that? Have you ever worn a plug before? Butt plug? If so, yes, I wear one out at least a couple times a week, or wear one at least a couple times a week while I'm out. Also, why didn't you invite me to your Minecraft server? I've been using one the past 2 days, and oh my god, it's intense. And you can join if you want. I thought you were not into butt stuff, so I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm not normally. I guess I wanted to try. Keep in mind, not confident that, not certain that this person's above 18. Do you like it? Yeah, it's so tense. Damn. We can get matching ones. Oof, okay, deal. Dude, I didn't read these on stream when they came out. Because, you know, I was, like, trying to be nice to this guy. I was trying to be, like, not an asshole to this guy and read his incredibly embarrassing sex leaks on stream. But I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? He's down for matching butt plugs, apparently. Did anything specific happen that made you want to try the plug? Was just home masturbating, thinking about sucking on a guy, and I decided to try it. Where did you get it from? It's Melina's. Did he tell Melina that he took her butt plug? Did he clean it off? Apparently he told Anna Kasparian that he didn't walk around with it at all, which makes me curious. This motherfucker just, like, pulled this shit out at his desk? That seems dicey. He decided to freely, you know, he freestyled he was gonna plug up while he jerked off, okay? And then he grabbed Melina's butt plug and apparently put it in at his desk and took it out at his desk. Streamed with it? Yeah, there are clips of him saying, or there are other logs of him saying he streamed with it, I believe. Ugh. By the way, I'll just point out, I don't go to this motherfucker's chat. I don't chase this motherfucker around. I don't do any of that. JSTLK, we need a clarification. Wait, what did you ask, Placido? I don't see it. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Anonymous, thank you for another gifted sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dump it.
Tequila Sunset message about flying out.
Dump it.
I don't see the Tequila Sunset message. Hold on. Was this before or after her parents offered to fly her out? Or sorry, was this before or after Destiny offered to fly her out, not her parents, and her parents said, no. No, you can't go visit that weirdo in Miami. No. Oh boy. I wonder if she was, like, intentionally throwing up the red flags about her age. My parents won't let me go. I just got my braces off today. Was she intentionally throwing these up, trying to fuck with them, or... And her selling porn through Discord instead of OF or Fansly. Yeah, another big one, Tequila Sunset, that she was doing her own sales and didn't have an OnlyFans, didn't have... Apparently selling nudes, but not doing anything else. Not doing any of the OnlyFans shit, not doing anything like that. Very strange stuff. I don't think he's watching anymore. Wasn't he streaming? Isn't he literally streaming right now? Oh, is he not live anymore? Oh, he's not live anymore. Oh, never mind. Well, that's boring. I thought he was, like, live on his stream. All right. Are we back to Nick Fuentes over here?
And he committed suicide. He was a veteran of World War II.
Why is it boring? Oh, because I thought it was going to be on stream with the DGGers. Thought it was going to be streaming for the DGGers. But it's less interesting if it's just him watching. That's like every stream. He watches every stream.
Who's the CIA cutout? Who's the poser?
Oh, right. So the point here, that why we're watching this, is just, and I don't have the best clips. I pulled the ranch one, the Buffalo Ranch one, but there are a lot of clips of Fuentes where he just talks about how he has actual antipathy for like poor people, for dumb people, for like, yes, people of other races, but even some of the people who would watch him, okay? Streaming for the DGGers just like the old times? Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, if any of them were here, they could come and like talk about any of this. Apparently the community is so unhinged that you can't possibly like come and have a conversation. It's a whole channel just for like debating about Destiny's legal case and stuff. I just have to say, okay, I never want it said that I'm obsessed with this guy, okay? I don't go to his shit and like at him and go after him, right? I don't. He tries to come after me. Well, he actually tries to come after Cherry because he's a coward. And he wants to try to stress Cherry out. He wants to try to harass Cherry. And I don't know why he wants to do this. I honestly couldn't tell you. The optics of it are just psychopathic to me. Yeah, you guys talk about each other. Bro, but I don't go in like at him. I don't go to his channel. The last like 4 times I've been approached by him. I know I'm in Pisco's server with him, but I don't at him. I don't go after him, right? He just keeps coming back, trying to get my attention. I literally offered him to come on stream, Salty McNulty. He ran. Okay, all right. Oh, right. We were watching this. Let's finish this off real quick.
My mother's father was a garbage man in Chicago, and he committed suicide. He was a veteran of World War II. Who's the CIA cutout? Who's the poser? Who is America? I am America. Chicago is America. That's an American story. I didn't go to Yale Law School and suck Peter Thiel's dick and then get a sinecure at a venture capital firm advising Rebecca Mercer and writing Hillbilly Elegy and talking about it at the Aspen Institute. That's your biographical credibility? How many of these disaffected white people that love Trump because he's racist went to Yale Law School and got plucked out by Peter Thiel, whoever he even is? Peter Thiel with his fixation with the Antichrist, this homosexual who's involved with the CIA, who wants to live forever and govern the world with AI. Yeah, that's really relatable. That's really relatable. Do another show with him and Curtis Yarvin. Do another show. Do the 47th show with JD Vance. It is insulting, and it is insulting to everybody's intelligence for Tucker to sit there and say he doesn't know his dad is in the CIA, for him to say that I'm in the CIA. What a joke. What a sick joke, especially after everything that's happened to me. And unlike what Candace Owens says, she says, what happened to him when he was 18? What happened to me is ongoing. Okay? Unlike Candace Owens and Tucker, I never got a contract with Ben Shapiro and Rupert Murdoch. I was on Maker Support. I was on Patreon. I was on D Live. I had to fight for everything I have. I didn't get $1 million contract from Turning Point. I didn't get $20 million from Fox News. My daddy didn't get me a job in Arkansas.
Now, this rant right here has sort of like flipped everything. The funny thing is we're going to cover the rest of the story tonight, right? The rest of the story is about Candace Owens and Milo conspiring to try to paint him as a federal agent. I don't know if he is or not. Like, it wouldn't have to do with the January 6th stuff to me. It would have to do with other shit, right? If I thought he was a Fed. Like the Cozy fund. I don't know where the funding for Cozy came from. That's always seems suspicious to me, okay? But I don't think the January 6th thing actually goes anywhere. And this rant took his, like, I think he, like, kind of lost that conversation with Candace Owens. But Candace Owens went on Tucker and, like, pressed it, right? She pressed it, and now Fuentes has totally flipped it on Twitter on both of them. He's, like, ratioing the shit out of her. He's, like, got way more engagement on his stuff. And it's very funny that he's, like, flipped it entirely on them. And I think this rant was, like, the start of it, where he started, like, kind of reversing it on them. You have to know who that helicopter money guy was that was oiling him. Well, I don't even know if that guy was oiling him the whole time. That guy just sent him a bunch of Bitcoin, right? Like $500,000 in Bitcoin or something. Dude, I wonder if he held on to that. It'd be worth a lot of money right now. He's a Fed? Well, I just wouldn't say it's because of... It's almost certainly not because of January 6th. The Jan 6th stuff, I think, is a total, like, mislead. I think it's, like, totally wrong to go after him for that. Or, sorry, not wrong. It's, like, totally incorrect strategy if you're Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson. Because I think now it's come out, I believe, that, like, there's very little reason to believe that he was trying to do something crazy there. Give me, like, 2 seconds. We can watch the other half of this as well in a little bit. I'll start with this. So a couple days ago, if you guys don't know, Milo Yiannopoulos went on Candace Owens' show, and they both kind of talk shit about Nick Fuentes a little bit, right? They both talk shit about Nick Fuentes, and then this VD guy tweets, Nick Fuentes on January 6th, we're taking the Capitol back. Keep marching, don't relent. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This Capitol belongs to us now. How has he not been arrested? So I think the issue here is that he's not near the Capitol building while they're doing this. I think they're like pretty far away from the Capitol building. I think that's like what his defense has been.
Keep moving towards the Capitol. It appears we are taking the Capitol back.
Okay, no, that's pretty bad. I knew he did some shit here that's like incitement in a way. Fuck, how do we figure this out? He was like far away. How does he? It's like a timeline thing that how they get past this, right? Because obviously he testified in front of the Jan 6 committee and he didn't get tried. I forget if it's like, is this like hours before they breach? This is like kind of hours before they breach. So he is amping people up, and obviously Baked Alaska went in because he's a moron.
Keep marching and don't relax. Never relax. Yeah.
3 hours on his latest VOD? Yeah, no, I've got the VOD here, Kozer. We're probably going to watch the VOD. It's probably going to be like a Fuentes flavored stream today. Yeah. Alien Mode, we're going to watch that, trust me. We just got a link to the VOD. Here, I'll actually just open that right now so I don't lose the link. Go like this, apparently 3 hours in his latest VOD. Can this play? Hello? 3 hours, 1 minute. Oh, does he do both? Does he respond on Twitter and he responds in the VOD? Yeah. These texts are pretty bad for Milo accusing him of being a Fed here.
That day.
Apparently, this also got leaked. Okay, so Fuentes responds. Oh, Fuentes responds somewhere here. He quote tweets this as well. Milo quote tweets this guy, says, no charges because Nick was one of the 30 or so confidential informants working for the FBI on January 6th to entrap Trump voters. His victims were tortured for years in jail. At least 5 are dead. Wait, wouldn't the people who are dead from the Capitol riots, wouldn't those be like... I don't doubt that there are people dead from the Capitol riots, but wouldn't those be like suicides and stuff? Would those really be like deaths because they were tortured in prison or something? Did a lot of the Capitol protesters get like tortured in prison? It's all fake. Nick remained uncooperative with all questioning and has testified under penalty of perjury in the J6 committee that he had never been involved with federal law enforcement. Also, Milo is literally an FBI informant despite having accused Nick of being one. What is this? Okay, I assume he'll talk through it.
I was going to do an interview with Alex Jones that night.
Oh, wait, before I go away from this, I do want to pull up the logs. He addresses it here, but there's a place where Nick actually posts his DMs with Milo, and they're like super exculpatory, actually. Oh God, I collected these tweets real quick before I started stream, and now I can't find them. Oh, here they are. Here they are. I just wanted to go over the DM leaks before I go into whatever Nick's response is, okay? This guy, yeah. Hey, so this is him messaging about Baked Alaska and other people. Hey, what did the feds say to you? Apparently Baked Alaska got a visit as well. This is January 5th, by the way, the day before. Lots of PBs are getting them. I think they're trying to keep lots of the Proud Boys are getting them. I think they're trying to keep obvious targets away. It would not serve their cause if Enrique or Gavin or I were killed. It might actually kick off a right-wing riot. They want Republicans simmering, not boiling. Just between us, I was given a friendly warning that no law enforcement agency would be able to guarantee my safety. They basically said, we're asking you not to go, but if you insist, it may become an instruction. Looks like Enrique just got banned in the entire state of DC, I think is the next message. In the entirety of DC. Shit, okay. Thanks for telling me that. I'll keep it between us. I agree with you with what you said on Telegram. Something's definitely up. I have a bad feeling about this one. I'm going to go to the Trump rally at the Ellipse and then get out of Dodge. That would be smart. Don't be out at night, whatever you do. And honestly, I would just not be out and about. You are recognizable enough now. Rally and fuck off is smart. Yep, too much funny business going on to play around. I have heard 5 Proud Boys so far who got visits from feds this morning, sorry. Mostly New York guys who weren't home or already left for DC who had it on their Ring cameras or their wives answered. Do you know if the feds had a similar message for them? Asking, don't feel left out. I'm happy to be left out. Lamau. Why did Fuentes go to January 6th? He didn't really believe it would do anything, right? Because he's an influencer. I think for the sake of his image, he had to be there, right? He was doing like stop the steal stuff. You might have thought it wasn't going to do anything, but I mean, you got to go. You've been telling your people that it's important that the election was stolen, right? You literally have to go. But he apparently from the beginning was planning to leave because he didn't want to be involved in anything, any kind of entrapment or anything. He had to? I mean, do you not think he had to? I feel like it makes total sense for him to go. I just think the Jan 6 stuff, like if he really left, I don't know if that's the Fed thing. I feel like it's way more suspicious to me with like how Cozy got started and stuff. I remember a rant where he was like, I believe the election was stolen just before the 2024 election. I believe the election was stolen. Okay. What is this? Posted this as well. U.S. Department of Justice, Channing D. Phillips, acting United States Attorney, District of Columbia, Bank of America accounts all held in the name of Nicholas Fuentes. On January 23rd, 2021, this office submitted a letter stating that the above referenced accounts were subject to seizure and forfeiture on the ground that they contained proceeds of money laundering, wire fraud, and threat violations. We request that the above referenced accounts be frozen pending further action from this office. This office is hereby withdrawing the January 23rd, 2021 request to freeze the above referenced accounts. We appreciate your assistance on this matter. Okay, so he's saying they did freeze my accounts. Here's the proof. Okay, let's listen to his words in this.
I was going to have dinner with a couple of friends of mine at an Italian restaurant. I had plans all throughout the night on January 6th. I had no plans of even being at the Capitol building.
How would the funding... So I just feel like it's very suspicious how they started Cozy entirely, like the entire streaming site. It seems suspicious to me. Like, I don't know how they started. I don't know where that came from. It's very weird. Yeah.
But I was behind Alex Jones when the speech happened, and somebody came up and said, Alex Jones is going to lead the march with President Trump to the Capitol. Trump himself said, we are going to march peacefully and make our voices heard at the Capitol. So I thought everybody was going. So I walked with the crowd to the Capitol. I took a bunch of pictures of my friends. And then somebody said, you got to give a speech. Because I gave speeches at all the other events. I went to Lansing, Atlanta, Harrisburg, Phoenix. I went to the Million MAGA marches, of which there were 2. And I gave these big speeches at all of them. I gave speeches at the U.S. Capitol, the state capitals, the governor's mansions. And so somebody said, you got to give a speech. I said, yeah, all right. Can someone find me a megaphone? And somebody goes on it. And they grabbed a megaphone. I jumped up, and I'll show you where I was. I'll show you precisely where I was. This is important evidence. We're getting into the nitty-gritty here. I said, all right, now this is where I was. Take a look at where I am. You can see very clearly where I was on the Capitol complex. This is me with the megaphone right here. That's Vince. That's my friend, former friend.
Is it Jaden? Yeah, it's Jaden who's next to him.
Now, to soak in where I am, look at this location.
Plenty of old streaming sites, though. What's suspicious? The suspicious thing was funding your own, right? Just funding your own in general. And, like, where would you get that funding from? And to me, that just seems suspicious that you would get it funded, like, out of nowhere with, like, no profit incentive, right? It's literally just the Nick Fuentes streaming site. Like, that just seems suspicious to me. I don't know.
Context of where the Capitol building is. Now, if you look and pay attention, on the Capitol complex, I was right here at I think it's called the Circle of Peace. I was right here giving that speech.
No one else of note streams on there? I mean, it's only Groypers, right? So, like, who's the next biggest streamer? I think it's, like, Politically Provoked would probably be the most consistent next, like, biggest streamers, like Brittany and Mio. And then maybe Beardson. Like, it's just, I think it's just Groypers who stream on there. Dick Masterson technically has an account. I'm trying to think. I think Ralph streamed there for a while, but I don't know if Ralph streams there anymore at all.
And if you look at
I think Ralph just streams on Kick, right?
The Peace Circle. This is the Peace Circle. That is the statue where I gave the speech. Now, look at the picture here. Okay, you can see this is the Peace Circle. This is the video. That is the statue where I was. It's the same statue. Now,
didn't go over the Xena stuff yet, guys.
It is 500 feet from the Capitol building. 500 feet.
I'll be real. I thought this whole argument was like miles, not feet. 500 feet is not that far. This is actually way less far than I thought it would be. When I heard this defense the first time, it's like, he's so far away from the Capitol building. I was like, oh, well, if he was like really far away. No, he's like, actually, it's actually 500 feet. That's really close.
Feet from where the building actually is. Now, everybody that got arrested, either two or three things were true about them. There were close to 2,000 people that got charged on January 6th, and one of three things was true about all of them. They were either charged with trespassing because they were on restricted grounds. They were charged with some form of violence or vandalism because of an altercation with media or police, or they broke something. Or third, they were involved in a militia. Out of 2,000 defendants, one of those things is true about all of them. This is the yellow line is where the barricades were. I was not on restricted grounds. These are the restricted grounds. I was not on them. I was 500 feet from the building. When I said take down the barricades, disregard the police, I was talking about the barricades on the lawn here. And by the way, nobody on the lawn even got charged. Nobody that was on the lawn got charged for being on the lawn. There were thousands of people on the lawn. People got charged for being inside the building, being in the threshold. They got charged if they beat up cops, broke stuff, or they got charged because...
So all we have to do to prove Nick Fuentes wrong, to prove that he's likely a Fed because of this, is to show that he was, that somebody was arrested who wasn't in these groups, right? Didn't Owen Schroyer get charged? I think Owen Schroyer is the best I've heard, but I think Owen Schroyer got to the steps. Am I crazy, or did Owen Schroyer not get onto the steps? I don't think he went inside, but he got to the steps, yes?
Because they were either in the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, or the Three Percenters. I didn't fight with cops or break anything. I wasn't in a militia. I wasn't on restricted grounds.
But also, did Owen Schroyer get his charges dropped as well, or did he get charged and arrested? Like, did he get arrested and charged, and did he get convicted?
500 feet from the building.
Hold on. Let me look it up.
Something else happened after that. So I gave the speech.
He pled guilty.
I wasn't on restricted grounds. And by the way,
2 months in prison.
I was with a group of about 20 people. Not one of them got charged because I led them away from the Capitol. I was with and the people there, they could testify to this or not. But the guy that was standing next to me, all of them. Vince James was right here. He did not get charged. This doofus was here. He did not get charged. This guy was here. He did not get charged. This guy was there. He did not get charged. Or I'm sorry, I don't have let me go back. I don't have it in front of me. Vince James here, not charged. Doofus did not get charged. This guy. None of these people got charged. And that's because I was with the group walking to the Capitol. I gave the speech. And then I said, this is getting hairy. This is getting dicey. Tear gas started coming down. I said, let's get out of here. We all left. So this idea that I was ordering people into the Capitol, not true. Everybody that was with me did not get charged. I led people away from the Capitol. But that's what happened. Now, a couple of other things happened after this. This is very critical. This is pursuant to the information about the freezing of the funds. What happened a couple of months before, I guess about one.
So I've heard this, Dolce Bellum, that people think Nick was there, and there's somebody I've seen the picture. I've seen a picture with the guy circled. That's supposed to be Nick. But I think Nick is, like, known to be, like, off the Capitol grounds. Like, that's what I think. But, I mean, if you want to find the picture, we could look. The video would probably be better, right?
1 month before January 6th, which should be mentioned, is that on December 8th, 2020, so this is after the election, but before January 6th. On December 8th, 2020, I got a very large Bitcoin donation. I got an email from a random address.
Fuck.
Is that on December, I got a very large, oh, cool, thanks, I'll check my wallet.
This guy, I think this guy was, like, dying. The guy who sent him the money was, like, dying or some shit.
Never heard back from this person. I checked my wallet. He sent me 13.5 Bitcoin worth $250,000 from an email that I'd only corresponded with one other time. He sent me $1,000 in Bitcoin for my birthday. That's how he got my address. On my birthday, he said, what's your address? I said, this is my Bitcoin address. He sent me $1,000. 4 months later, in December, he said, hey, sent you some Bitcoin. Never heard from him again.
Dude, did he not say how much it was? That's crazy. Hey, buddy, sent you some Bitcoin. 13.5 Bitcoin.
I sent him an email. I said, thank you so much. Let's get on a call. But I never heard back. It was a mystery. That is until after January 6th.
Oh, but here's the thing. Okay, I get where a lot of people would take that. It sounds like, well, if you're a foreign influence operation and you just wanted to drop money to people, right? You're a foreign influence operation, you want to drop money to people, then yeah, send them a shitload of Bitcoin for nothing, right? That's super easy. But I believe with this guy, the feds actually investigated this guy, and the guy who sent him the stuff, like, died. Like, I think killed himself because of some demyelinating illness.
Now, I thought about this a lot. I sold some of the Bitcoin. I'm not going to tell you how much, but I sold a lot of it on my Coinbase account, and I sent the money from Coinbase to my Bank of America checking account.
Oof. Demyelinating. I didn't spell it right. Demyelinating. Oh. I thought it was like MS or something that he had, right? Demyelinating disease? I thought it was like MS or something. But
a couple of weeks after January 6th, there was a report by a website called Chainalysis. Chainalysis is a CIA-backed nonprofit that analyzes cryptocurrency transactions. And they took an interest in the donation because of what transpired at J6th. They identified me as a prominent guy at the Capitol, and my Bitcoin address is public, so you can look at who sent money to it. And so they saw that this big transaction took place. So the CIA-backed nonprofit Chainalysis, meaning like the blockchain, they looked at the transaction. This is what they wrote about it. This was on January 15th, 2021. Or excuse me, January 14th, 2021.
Demyelinating disease is when you have your myelin sheath being shaved off. Right? Or it's like diseases that attack your neurons, basically.
It says, quote, on
Parkinson's, MS,
December
that kind of
8th,
thing.
2020,
Huntington's,
a
I think.
donor sent 28 Bitcoin worth $522,000 at the time of the transfer to 22 separate Bitcoin addresses in a single transaction. Many belong to far-right activists and internet personalities. Nick Fuentes received 13.5, worth approximately $250,000 at the time of the transfer, making him by far the biggest beneficiary of the donation. However, several others received significant funds as well, including the anti-immigration organization VDare, alt-right streamer Ethan Ralph, and many other addressees whose owners are yet unidentified. Some of the others were Patrick Casey. Patrick Casey got 1 Bitcoin. American Renaissance got a Bitcoin. Gab, BitChute, Daily Stormer, Un's Review, BitChute guy named Mr. Obvious, a YouTuber named Luke Smith. This guy gave 28 Bitcoin, half of which went to me, and everyone else got 1.
I feel like it's such an asshole thing to point out. All these guys suck. I got half the Bitcoin, they all got 1 each.
And it was like a who's who of everyone in the dissident right. Amran, VDare, Un's Review, Gab, BitChute, everybody got some. Here's where it gets interesting. Searching for information on the email address connected to the Bitcoin address led us to a personal blog we believe belongs to the extremist donor, and which identifies him as a French computer programmer. The blog had been inactive since 2014 until a new post was published on December 9th, the day after the donations were made. Shockingly, the post appears to be a suicide note. And I'm not going to read the whole note. You can find it online. It's on the Chainalysis article. But long story short, it's a French computer hacker who started receiving Bitcoin in exchange for his services in 2013. According to his...
You know what? Maybe you're not right, Kirsky. Or sorry, maybe you're not wrong. Maybe you are right. Maybe you're not wrong here. This does sound a little suspicious now that I think about it. Why did he point out that the blog is like is a CIA-backed nonprofit or something? It's like, okay. So they wrote a whole backstory for you? They wrote a whole like exculpating backstory?
Suicide note, he got diagnosed with a neurological disorder with no cure. It's the most painful disease known to man with no cure. And he decided he was going to commit suicide. He got a luxury hotel room in Paris and decided to commit suicide. But before he killed himself, he said, I'm going to donate money. He said, I will bequeath my fortune to people that I think are defending Western civilization, because he was like right wing. And so this is one excerpt from the suicide note. It says, quote, I can't imagine myself spending my last days more...
Oh, don't take it too seriously. I feel like it is a little suspicious, But again, I need to see like some evidence. I don't know. I need to see, again, maybe a comparison of where Nick was and where Owen Schroyer was and like what went on with Owen Schroyer. Like I pulled up Owen Schroyer here. Okay, let's take a look. Real quick, let's take a look. What's up, Max? How's it going? Please don't donate unhinged shit to me, Max, okay? Please do not try to Fed post in my channel. Max, I need you to chill. Do not... Max, I do not avow any unsavory tactics, okay, in internet wars. I do not avow doxing. I do not avow swatting. None of that, okay? We hate all of those things. You cannot donate to try to make me, like, laugh or anything while I say this. I totally disavow, okay? Totally disavow. Anyway, Owen Schroyer was sentenced on Tuesday to 2 months behind bars for joining the mob's riot at the U.S. Capitol, which prosecutors said he helped create by spewing violent rhetoric and spreading baseless claims of election fraud to hundreds of thousands of viewers. Schroyer, who hosts a daily show called The War Room with Owen Schroyer, for the website operated by conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Prosecutors said Schroyer used his online platform and later a megaphone outside of the Capitol on January 6th to amplify lies that Democrats stole the 2020 election from President Donald Trump, who was the Republican incumbent. Schroyer didn't enter the Capitol, but he led a march to the building and led rioters in chants near the top of the building's steps. He's among only a few people charged in the riot who neither went inside the building nor were accused of engaging in violence or destruction. He pled guilty in June to illegally entering a restricted area, a misdemeanor punishable by a maximum sentence of 1 year behind bars. Schroyer didn't set foot inside the Capitol building because many of his followers did, prosecutors argued. They said Schroyer spread election disinformation and thinly veiled calls to violence on January 6th to InfoWars viewers in the weeks leading up to the attack. I want to say when I watched Schroyer, like, in the moments before the attack, he was saying, like, 1776. I feel like he was doing a lot of, like, we're breaking through, we're getting this done. I feel like there's a lot of this shit, like, as he was covering it, if I'm not mistaken. I've watched, like, some of the InfoWars coverage from that day. It's not the best. So, okay. But if he went up the steps, that is quite a bit worse than what Fuentes was doing, being, like, a long ways away. Was there anybody out where Nick was who got arrested? Like anybody, any level of rhetoric, right? Why wasn't Alex Jones charged? He was doing incitement. Incitement needs, so there's the Brandenburg standard for incitement to violence? There needs to be like some proximate, you need to actually be inciting somebody to do something like in the moment. You need to be close enough, needs to be like time-wise close enough. There's like, we could look up the standard at some point later. I feel like Alex Jones definitely didn't get there, and like I think Trump, Alex Jones, and possibly Nick, although Nick seems close enough that it seems dicey to me, they don't follow under the Brandenburg standard. You can say they incited, but they didn't incite in a way that like that the standard by which the I think Constitution would apply, like in terms of your free speech, like it's not yelling fire in a crowded theater. It's not that.
More and more diminished, not contributing to society, not fighting to preserve it. And that's one of the things that completely changed for me these last years.
Oh, he's still reading.
I care about what happens after my death. That's why I decided to leave my modest wealth to certain causes and people. I think and hope they will make a better use of it. This is Chainalysis again. It says French publication 20 Minutes confirmed the death of a French computer programmer who appears to have been the owner of the Bitcoin wallet from which the donations were sent, and the blog on which the suicide note we posted above was published. Reporter Philip Berry spoke to someone who knew the donor personally, who confirmed his death by suicide on December 8th. So, this guy who I never knew, never met, never really talked to, was suffering in an extraordinary way, resolved to commit suicide, which he admitted in the suicide note was a selfish act. But he went out with a selfless act. He donated his fortune to the people he thought were preserving and fighting for civilization. And for whatever reason, he saw me as the most important figure. That's why he gave me half of the total donation. Obviously. And that had nothing to do with January 6th. Now, given the nature of it, it was such a large and unusual sum of money. I never had a big transaction.
Hold on. Quote from it. Democrats are posing as communists, but we know what they really are. They're just tyrants. They're tyrants. And so today on January 6th, we declared death to tyranny. Death to tyrants.
Action before that, so it was the size of the transaction. It was facilitated by Bitcoin, and it came from a foreign country. Now, all of that is enough to warrant attention by itself, but especially after January 6th, because I was such a vocal proponent of Stop the Steal. I was going to Atlanta, Harrisburg, Phoenix. I was all over. So naturally, the feds were looking for foreign financing. That was their narrative. That's what they went with. They said this was foreign financing of these riots and insurrections in January 6th and all that. So they were looking at me, they were looking at Alex Jones, they were looking at these types of people. They found this transaction and they flagged it. And they said, before this insurrection, this unusually large Bitcoin transaction from a foreign country went through.
I would say I totally understand why his shit got frozen. Like, it makes complete sense. I'm trying to think of, like, how would you tie this together? If you wanted to, like, prove out that he was a Fed because of this, I don't know how you do it, man. I feel like it's so difficult to actually, like, figure this out. You're right, just a strange story? Well, it's a strange story, but also, like, it kind of makes sense, but if he was a Fed and he had the cooperation of the government, it would look like this too, so I don't know if it's dispositive. I don't know if this is dispositive of anything. I just say that you probably can't use this to point to the fact that he's a Fed somehow.
Investigated it, and they found this had nothing to do with January 6th. If it did, why would they give money to UN's Review? That had nothing to do with J6. Why would they give money to Gab, BitChute, Ethan Ralph? I mean, none of these people really had anything to do with Stop the Steal or J6. They weren't bankrolling it. They weren't financing it. Many of them weren't even there. So, what's more, the January 6th event was not even announced until after December 8th. So the donor was literally dead before January 6th was even put on the schedule. Forget about, this was masterminded, orchestrated. The guy died before the event was even announced. Because all of that was moving very quickly. If you remember in 2020, we scrambled to do these protests, and everyone was just doing it to defend Trump in the stolen election. So
he's a Fed. Is something cultist retards say to slander other cultist retards? Well, hold on. The funny thing, Splickety Lit, is I think it's actually the tactic that Feds would do to one another, right? Not to each other, sorry, but they would do it to other people around them, right? Like, if you've ever played Among Us, you don't want to be sitting there as the person who's like, you don't want to never guess who the Fed is, right? Then it's obvious you're the Fed. You should probably point to a Fed at some point, or it's incredibly obvious that you yourself are the Fed, all right? Why do you never accuse anybody of being a Fed?
So one had nothing to do with the other. Some French computer programmer who I didn't know, never met, bequeathed his fortune to a dozen people and then killed himself. Now, I happen to be doing these protests because I said the whole year the election would be
Literally
stolen.
dead donor
I said
just tipped
since
$3.
June 2020.
Bleep order received and acknowledged. Bleep.
Thank you very much for the 3, literally dead donor. I really appreciate you, literally dead donor. You're awesome.
It's going to be a red mirage. I said in October 2020, it's going to look like we're winning, then we're going to lose because of the mail-in ballots. Then it happened. So we kind of bootstrapped it. I drove to Lansing. We flew to these capitals. We tried to put something together and to fight to get the state electors to claw back, the state representatives to take back the electors in the Electoral College and get Trump to stay in office. While this was happening, some guy who I didn't know killed himself and bequeathed half of his fortune to me. And God bless him and God rest his soul. Now, after J6, the government took an interest in me and the donation. And Chainalysis posted this. This was posted on January 14th.
Dude, Alien Mode, apparently there's a big compilation of Tucker Carlson talking about how he's pretty sure his dad was in the CIA and
10
shit.
days later, the Bank of America account was frozen. Now think about it. I received the Bitcoin transaction. I transfer it to Coinbase. I sell it. I transfer the cash to Bank of America. The Chainalysis report comes out and says there's this weird Bitcoin transaction. 10 days later, the Department of Justice freezes that Bank of America account. And I'll read to you the protective order that released the funds because I have it on hand. I'll post it under the Milo receipts so you can see it, and I'll read it. You want the receipts? You got them. You want my life? You want transparency? Here you go. So I just posted on Twitter, and I'll show you right now.
Americanism, not globalism.
Hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong button. Shows how. Okay. I'll show you the.
He did sell. He would have a lot of money right now if he'd not
DOJ
sold.
That I received on July 21st, 2021. This is from the Department of Justice. It says, to whom it may concern, on January 23rd, 2021, this office submitted a letter stating that the above referenced accounts at Bank of America were subject to.
Okay, this is what we already watched. Are we gonna go through? I wonder if he's just gonna go through all the tweets. Because if he just goes through all the tweets, we might actually go watch him go through the tweets here. Oh, there's an hour long of intro. It starts here. Because like he might actually go through all the tweets where it's like Elon and Tucker and Candace, all of these people. Should we just go through it? I've got all the tweets as well. We can pull them up as we go.
Again, she's got another bright idea.
That's like his Gen 6 bit. I was gonna go through this whole thing because yeah, it's like Elon replying about him, Candace, not Tucker on Twitter, I don't think, but then the Tates come in for some reason. The Tates come in. It's like. It's very weird.
Candace Owens has another bright idea. She wants to take another crack at me. I've been cracking Candace Owens all week. Now she wants another crack at me. Today I get this text from Candace. She says she wants me to come back on her show on Wednesday. Now, today's Monday. So she wants me to race back onto an airplane, fly down to Nashville, go to her home on 2 days' notice. She's challenging me to another debate. And I'm supposed to do this. Why? Because the first hit piece.
Andrew Tate is longtime friends with Candace's husband, no? He is, yes. He is. I believe people have suggested that Candace is like the beard for that relationship. Okay? Kind of a meme. Actually, just totally a meme, but.
Didn't work.
Little funny to think about.
Because the second hit piece with Tucker also didn't work. Now what? I'm supposed to hop on an airplane, fly to your house, cancel my show so you can take another swing? Because we all know how it went over the past couple of weeks. Did not go according to plan. So she asked me if I'm going to do her show. She tells Dan Bilzerian, get Nick to do my show. And Dan says, I'll moderate. She goes, oh, he loves you. Great idea. So I'm thinking about how to reply to this, and then she puts me on blast on Twitter. She posts a screenshot. It's now a public challenge. Before I can even reply, you better come down and do my show and face me. So I'm responding to this. I'm in my Candace Owens feud era. And I was going to talk about that during the show tonight, but brief.
Well, I think he talked about it on his show before when she asked him like to come back on. He said, only losers ask for a rematch, which I think is hilarious because we watched that convo, and I do think he kind of lost that convo. You could argue he was ambushed, but I don't think he looked great in that convo. But now I feel like through the optics, after and Candace like trying to get him to do a second interview and like chasing him around and talking shit about him, I do think it looks like Candace lost now. Yeah, like, I think she totally won the conversation, and then her actions after make it look like she won. Like, nobody's gonna go back and watch that now and go, oh yeah, nobody's gonna go verify. So, like, she kind of ruined her own win.
Then, it gets better. Elon Musk jumps into the fray out of a clear blue sky, out of nowhere. Elon Musk replies, not once, but twice, to 2 different tweets by Milo Yiannopoulos accusing me of being a federal asset or a federal informant in what is obviously coordinated. Why today? Why now?
It does, dude, he played it well, unfortunately. For all the conspiracy-brained right-wingers, he played it so well out of nowhere, right? Like, he went, oh, these people are like trying to stop. These people are all. First, he accused Tucker of being CIA after Tucker kind of soft implied that he might be a Fed, right? And then he's like, here's what they're going to do. They're going to come out and like attack me over this, which is obvious. But then they all came out and attacked him at like the same time. We're like, oh, look, he probably is a Fed. He probably is a Fed, actually. And it looks real bad when those people all come and do it at the same time.
Now, me and Elon Musk, we're not friends. I don't know him.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as I know, he doesn't like me. We were in a big feud earlier in the year, actually, when Elon banned 20 groypers over the H-1B row. You might remember this around New Year's Eve. Elon was pushing for limitless H-1B visas for Silicon Valley. That would result in like a ton of Indian immigration, which I don't think anybody wants. And so me and the Groypers were saying that's a terrible idea. 20 Groypers.
You don't get like a ton of immigration with H-1B visas. You get way more immigration illegally and way more through like other sources. I don't think H-1Bs have ever been like the major source for incoming immigrants into the United States. Like that's kind of a preposterous. The whole point is to get like people who have some level of education, right? Like you can't, it's not the same thing. It's not, you could argue why H-1Bs might drag down the like median wage there are arguments there. I feel like I've seen some good evidence for why that's not the case, right? But I would say that trying to say that like H-1Bs result in a ton of Indian immigration, it's like, it doesn't really result in a ton of immigration. It's a major source of a pain in the ass. My ass as an accountant. Well, I believe that.
He
I do believe
called me
that.
shit for brains for being against this and for calling out the censorship. That's my relationship with Elon. But I have had zero interaction with him for 7-8 months. And now all of a sudden today, he's replying to Milo, who's accusing me of being a Fed, drawing attention to the posts, and making the allegation himself. And so tonight, what I'm going to do is reply to the entire attack, the whole attack, because now it's getting a little bit scary. And I told you on Friday last week, I even told you the week before that, I said I'm starting to get a little bit nervous because I could tell that I'm flying a little too close to the sun. I said this on my first episode where I exposed Tucker. I said, look, I am very self-aware. I'm very cognizant of the fact that I am going up against very powerful people, and I'm not the first person to ever do that. I'm not the first young...
He's basically JFK, okay? He's basically JFK. That's who he is.
Fearless critic of the system. A journalist, arguably, who challenges the power structure. I said, I'm not the first archetype of that figure that has ever done this. I said, and spoiler alert, you all know how that story ends. That guy keeps pushing, he keeps pushing. They push back. He keeps pushing, and then they kill him.
I mean, the funny thing is he responds and stuff on Twitter, and he goes and talks his shit, and then he's like, look, they're gonna respond back in a coordinated way. And realistically, if people just disagreed with him, they would do the same thing, right? They would do the exact same thing. So it's like you're kind of just you're forcing it to become reality a little bit too. There's like sleight of hand going on here.
The story does not end in the young, idealistic kid single-handedly bringing down the system. It's like, maybe that happens eventually, but first he dies. First he gets killed. And then the sheep scatter. And some people say, you're a martyr. That would be the Streisand effect. You know, they say these things. Nope. Maybe that happens after you die, but first they kill you. First they come after you. And so I think I said on my show last week, I said the next move is they're going to come in heavy on my reputation because that's what they've been doing. I said that on Friday. It is Monday. And look at the big guns they're pulling out. So first Candace Owens, then Tucker Carlson, because that wasn't enough, and now Elon, because that wasn't enough. And, you know, maybe
you're JFK journalist beforehand?
skeptical.
No.
I think it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do. I think it's pretty clear as day. What are the odds? I have 50,000 people watching my coverage of Israel's attack on Iran. I have 70,000 live viewers on Rumble.
Wait, what? Be your pay pig. Hold on.
Ruben donated $3. I admire Nick's fidelity, bravery, and integrity.
No, you don't, Ruben. No, you don't. No, you don't. Dude, there's no shot he had 70K? Even if it's botted, like, I wonder what the real numbers are. They gotta get this guy on YouTube. Maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. Wait. Sorry, YouTube's the only platform that I have confidence can, like, split off botted views and not pay people for them. Like, if you wanted to know what he actually gets for views, if he was on YouTube, you'd have a good idea. No, we don't fully avow Nick's points here. No. That was the night Trump bombed Iran. I know. I'm just saying that, like, I'd love to see what the real numbers are. Because on YouTube, when people get botted, the actual views after the stream are very in line with what their real viewership would be. Like, YouTube can easily parse out bots. Super easily. And I would just love to see what he's, like, actually getting for numbers. Because I know he's growing. I can see it based on, like, the Twitter influence and stuff, right? And I can see it based on, here's the real truth about why he's growing and why he must be growing massively. It's because why the fuck do all these huge influencers want to talk to him? Why the fuck is everybody suddenly reaching out to this guy to talk to him? After he's been like a social pariah for years. Why is everybody going, hey, we should get Nick Fuentes on. Hey, we should get Nick Fuentes on. Hey, we should get Nick Fuentes on. To me, I'm sitting here like, okay, there's got to be some data that these people have when they've got so much money and they can have like actual, like basically a department to figure out who they're bringing onto their shows, right? Epstein, he bragged that he revived his career. Well, pro-Palestine progressives retweet Nick not knowing. Man, he's really anti-Israel. He's not pro-Palestine. He's anti-Israel. Let's not make any mistake
Watching
there.
my coverage when America attacks Iran. All of a sudden, Candace Owens takes an interest in me. She does a show. Hit piece. It backfires. Everybody rallies on my side. I keep getting bigger. So Candace runs over to Tucker Carlson.
The sad thing is she totally ambushed him, and she totally won by ambushing him. And then her going to Tucker Carlson, like Nick said, like that first part of the story, that's not what happened. I think Nick kind of got raped in that conversation, to be honest with you. And he tells it that way, but the rest of the story doesn't really make sense unless she kind of got destroyed in that first conversation. I don't think she did. I'm pretty sure, I watched the whole thing. I'm pretty sure she kind of rolled him over because she was trying to ambush him. And then she goes on Tucker, and it looks like she's trying to shit talk him and like do damage control on losing the conversation, the previous one. How did she win? I didn't watch the interview. I think she made him look really silly, and when he was saying why he was calling her out and what he meant when he was calling her out, and then they posted the proof after, now she had total control over this, right? She could totally set the narrative, but what she did was she basically posted screenshots in the VOD that were like, oh, somebody in the chat said, like some Candace Owens account in her YouTube chat said like, oh yeah, we definitely talked to Nick or something. And he had been saying like, you agreed to talk to me, right? She had like receipts there, and he looked pretty bad in that moment. And I think she basically, based on that and a couple other things that he sort of like walked back a little bit, I think she looked pretty bad in that convo, okay? Sorry, I think he looked pretty bad in that convo. But then she goes onto Tucker and shit talks him, and then she goes to Twitter and keeps like replying to him all the time. And I think he flipped it into a win despite losing that first convo.
And Tucker Carlson says he's a CIA agent. Yeah, he's an insecure little boy. He's in his parents' basement.
Jaden McNeil, I say.
And that backfires spectacularly. All of a sudden, Tucker has an interest in me. After not saying my name for years. All of a sudden.
Oh, and true. Tucker did save him with the CIA comments.
I'm bigger than ever. I keep getting bigger. Bradley Martin, Sam Hyde, people like Glenn Greenwald, Ian Carroll defending me.
Oh, wait. Ian Carroll defended him too? Oh, no. Candace, no. That's not good. If Ian Carroll's defending Nick, oh boy, that would not be good for him. Can I find Ian Carroll on Twitter?
It's undeniable. Charlie Kirk getting roasted on his show.
I also pulled the Glenn Greenwald thing, because I've heard people talk about the Glenn Greenwald thing. I was watching Adam and Sitch today, and I think Sitch was saying it looked like Glenn Greenwald was like held hostage while he talked positively about Nick. That like Glenn Greenwald goes through the Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes conversation, and Glenn Greenwald's like talking about how cool Nick is, and it's like, wait, why would Glenn Greenwald like Nick? And why does he look like a fucking hostage? Like he's sweating and terrified. So I would like to go... I want to go watch that now, because I haven't seen it, and it's like, wait, what is happening there that Glenn Greenwald... We'll see. Glenn is paid by Rumble to like him? Maybe.
What do they do today?
I just want to know, man.
Elon Musk comes in. He's a federal asset. Haven't had any interaction with this guy for 7 months. All of a sudden, he's got something to say. And he has something to say to Milo, of all people.
I was watching Adam and Sitch today. Seek help, bro. This is not healthy. No, Adam and Stitch are not bad. I like listening to their show. I just listen to it while I'm doing like other things. Like I'll be looking for content or whatever. And it's like ambient politics in the background, so I can try to stay like tapped in a little bit. So I just do other stuff while I'm listening to them.
And you know what's interesting? After Candace Owens went on Tucker Carlson, who does she have on her show the week after? Milo. Now, did Candace Owens ask Milo about how he's been calling her husband gay for 5 years? Did she call him out? Did she start out the interview with Milo by saying, "You talk a lot of shit," and show the screenshots and the videos? No. You know, Candace Owens, who claims to be Mrs. Tradwife, Queen Tradwife, Milo's been calling her husband, George Farmer, a homosexual and saying it's a fraudulent marriage for 5 years. Did she call him out on that like she called me out? No. Just like how she didn't call out Harvey Weinstein, who they conspicuously collaborated with. So she does the show with Milo, and then a week later, Elon is replying to Milo, calling me a fed. Super, super interesting. So,
is it?
We're going to unpack.
It is weird. It is weird that Candace and Milo suddenly get back together to like take down Nick Fuentes. That's another thing. Sorry, that's in addition to the Tucker thing. It looks really bad.
All of it. And as I started to say before, I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here. But for those that are skeptical and for those that want to see the evidence, for those that just want to see it for the love of the game, we're going to unpack all of it. We're going to unpack all of the attacks, the lies, the accusation, if I'm a Fed. We'll analyze it. We'll talk about everything. And we'll talk about what's really behind the attack. Because it almost goes without saying, the people that are attacking me don't even believe what they're saying. Elon does not believe what he's saying. Candace doesn't believe what she's saying. Honestly, maybe she does. I am reserving some judgment on Candace because I think she might just be a useful idiot. I think she might have been put up to this. The jury's out on her. There's some connections there, but she might just be so stupid she's just being dragged along in this. But she's obviously involved. But Elon, Candace, Milo.
Ian Carroll video? What? There's an Ian Carroll video too? Hold on. Ian Carroll?
Well, last week, RFK Jr.
America First breaks the internet. Fuentes goes mainstream 2 days ago. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Do we want to? We'll let Nick cook for a little bit. I'll watch the Ian Carroll thing in just a second here. We'll check it out.
None of them believe this stuff. Do you seriously believe that Tucker Carlson thinks that I'm in the CIA, but he didn't know his dad was running the CIA? Obviously, that's not true. These are bad faith attacks, not rooted in fact. And the formula of the attack is very specific. The attack is formulated in such a way that it cannot be refuted. Cannot ever sufficiently be refuted. Can't prove a negative. There's no evidence that I'm a federal informant. But because it's not true, I can't prove a negative. I can't show you every second of my life for the past 10 years, like on a video camera, and show that there was never a meeting with the feds. And whether something happens to me with the feds or doesn't, I'm guilty. After January 6th, my money was frozen by the Department of Justice. I was placed on a deny boarding list, a no-fly list by Homeland Security. I was debanked. I was subpoenaed by the House Select Committee on January 6th. I testified under oath that I never talked to the FBI or turned over any of my devices to the FBI. Nevertheless, they say I'm still a Fed. Now, if nothing happened to me, they would say I'm a Fed. Some things happened to me, and they say, well, I don't know, maybe the feds didn't know I was a Fed, so they did all these things to me. If I got charged, they would say I'm a Fed. I didn't get charged. They say I'm a Fed too.
Hurricane needs Destiny's butt plug to battle Nick in the marketplace of ideas. Okay.
So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If absolutely nothing happened to me after January 6th, they'd say, isn't that suspicious? Well, a lot of things did happen, and yet they say that's suspicious too. I did not get charged. They say that's proof. But Ray Epps got charged. You know what they said about that? They said, oh, well, Ray Epps just got charged anyway because they wanted to make it look like he's not a Fed. So you can't win. That's the basis of the attack. It's designed in that way. How much would the FBI have to kill me for people to believe this? Well, he was only on the no-fly list for a year. He only had his money frozen for 6 months. He only got debanked by 5 banks, etc., etc., etc. So what level of persecution? Up to and including a charge, they would still say the same thing. So we'll talk about the nature of the attack. We're going to unpack all this. I'm just giving you a little preview. And then we'll talk about what's really going on.
Very funny to watch Nick grapple with the busted conspiracy mindset of his right-wing allies. Quote-unquote allies. It's a little funny, but it works in his favor too, right? It's just both of them. They're both... What is it like? It's like Dragon Ball Z, dude. It's like Kamehameha versus Gallic Gun or something, okay? It's like they're just shooting these things at each other, all right? And it's just whoever can power up the most is going to win, okay? It's like the same thing. They're casting at each other, and they're just having like a power fight right now, okay? So he's going to go, they're going to go, you're Fed. And he's going to go, you're all Feds. Actually, you're all Feds. And what they don't realize is that Nick has just received a Senzu bean, okay, of some kind, and he is powered up. He's back, he's powered up, and he's not going to be fucked with. Maybe. I don't know. We're just watching the whole thing. I just think it's really weird that like a lot of other people are taking his side here. Like against Candace, against Tucker, against a bunch of these people. I think they realize that being more in the...
Reban Ruben donated $3. This guy's a moron. It's not debunked, it's debunked. Why does anyone even watch this guy?
Thank you, Ruben. You're a lovable goof.
And I'm really going to save the best for last.
Oh, right. Nick's about to power up. I'm thinking, I see things moving, and I don't know how to interpret it. Maybe people are just realizing that like Candace Owens and Tucker are just sort of dying like commentators. Like they were really never that good. They were sort of a product of the platforms they were on, and maybe people are just slowly moving away.
Because by the end of this, it is going to be plain as day. We're talking names, we're talking dates, we're talking the whole enchilada. You want to know why they're so mad about my show? Not even from last Friday, but from the week before that. I'll give you a little spoiler alert. It has everything to do with the vice president. We are living in House of Cards right now. J.D. Vance went from being an unelected...
You explain it in a way that doesn't use anime analogies for non-pedophiles in chat. Sure, they're arm wrestling. The stronger person's going to win. And they all thought they were stronger, but it turns out when it comes to like this stuff, when it comes to like riling up the masses and getting them to believe something that might not be true, but kind of might be true, but you kind of just have to use your persona, your charisma to convince people. All right? Nick is like a strong man, actually. Like Nick will actually win in that. They fought him in the one place where he is not a twink, okay? That's in the battlefield of the mind, the marketplace of ideas.
Elected civilian in 2022 to a senator, to the vice president in 24, to within 4 years, potentially the president of the United States. That is some serious House of Cards shit. This is a guy that in 6 years has gone from never Trump author to potentially president of the United States. And he...
I don't know if JD Vance is CIA. JD Vance is definitely like Teal, like just a Teal-made guy.
He was empowered to get there by Peter Thiel, who designed the surveillance state itself, by Elon Musk, the richest man in the world who owns the platform X, and Tucker Carlson, who is maybe the most influential voice in Republican politics, courtesy of Rupert Murdoch, his former boss, and Rebecca Mercer. And I'll show you how it all comes together at the end. I'm Zoe Barnes. What if...
Teal is CIA? Is that fair to say Teal's CIA? when he has Palantir and they get government contracts. Like, he wasn't CIA before he became a billionaire who founded or who acquired like a major share of this data tracking company, was he? I don't know if it's fair to say he's CIA based on that, though.
There was a coup against the American government. What if there was a coup against the America First MAGA movement by the deep state to usurp and subvert Donald Trump and install a deep state puppet? A never-Trumper Silicon Valley artifice who was nobody. And in 6 years, he'll be the heir apparent president from MAGA, president of the United States. And what if one guy stood against him? What if one guy who didn't take money from Peter Thiel, what if one guy who wasn't taking support from Silicon Valley, one guy who's paying attention and is skeptical, what if one guy was calling that out? Well,
who's that? Wait, who's that guy? Is it Nick?
With the Death Star laser. That's what's happening to me.
Oh.
So they will call this in the future. They will say this is the screw job of the summer. This is what happens. I am the people's champion. I have been speaking for the people from the beginning. I have been talking about white identity, Jewish power, the U.S.-Israel relationship from the very beginning. I was at Charlottesville as an attendee. I was at the Stop the Steal protests in January 6 in 2021. I was the architect of the Groyper War.
Hard to argue against the bona fides here a little bit.
And now that I'm on this generational run, after they took the boot off my neck,
I will say, it's not been that long a run that he's calling it a generational run for. It's been like a month-long run?
I got unbanned on Twitter last May. They stopped taking my clips down on Instagram in January of this year. And in 7 months, that's all it took.
I will say, okay, not to use another Dragon Ball Z analogy here, but I have to, okay? He's been training in like 100 times gravity, and Fuentes just showed up on like Namek, right? Like, to maintain an audience, he had to become like so entertaining and so well-spoken that he could like never lose people from his audience, and then like he could claw the few people in from like his appearances all over the place. Like, he did actually become an incredible performer. No matter what you want to say about the guy, his audience, his ideas, generally I find them very off-putting, very gross. Like, I don't believe in, ethno-states. I don't believe in race realism. I'm really not that racist. Kind of a racist poser in a lot of ways, right? I disagree with a ton of his ideology. Obviously, I totally disagree with any kind of theocracy. But in terms of entertainment, he's an incredibly entertaining speaker. He is very entertaining. He's very good at what he does. It's and perhaps the only thing shielding America from a theocracy was the fact that this guy was just totally deplatformed, right?
Months after they stopped censoring me intensely.
That she said ethno-states were fine. I'm not principally against ethno-states in that, like, I believe Israel as an ethno-state needs to function the way it does right now. But I don't think generally I'd want to move like my country or another country in North America, the United States, towards being an ethno-state. I don't think moving that direction is a good idea, like as a matter of policy. I don't think I'm like principally against them though, in general.
Overnight, I'm on a generational run. I'm the prize fighter that keeps winning championship races, championship fights and battles. I'm the people's champion.
Dude, it's so crazy that he can run with this narrative, and it's almost entirely built from, like, post hoc logic, right? Like, not post hoc logic, post hoc facts, after the fact. It's just built after the fact. The Candace conversation didn't go well for him. It didn't. And somehow he's turned that into, like, a win, and somehow on Twitter, with, like, his audience and the group of, like, the kind of cult he has going, he's, like, he keeps spinning things into wins over and over and over again. It's really crazy how, like, the cult dynamic just can flip things out of nowhere. There's so many similarities between like him and Destiny in terms of like the audience makeup. It's like eerie. It's really eerie.
I never worked for Rupert Murdoch, unlike Tucker. I never took a check from Dennis Prager, unlike Candace Owens. I never took $1 from Bernard Marcus, unlike Charlie Kirk. Whatever you want to say about me, all my faults, all my defects, the ways that I'm not the perfect representation of the white identity movement, of the anti-Israel movement, whatever you want to say. I'm real, I'm raw, I'm of this fucking country, I'm of this generation. I am the people's champion. And everyone knows that. Everyone can see that. It didn't take long. Took me 8 years, but it didn't take anybody else long to see it. And now that I'm on this generational run, now that my message is reaching millions of people, and people are watching my show and they're saying,
fuck, he's got such a good story too. It's so fucked. Right? Like that, these speeches are pre-written. Yeah, everybody who speaks like this is, dude, he scripts his entire show. His entire show is scripted. His entire show, anybody who thinks his show's like off the cuff, he's either reading from a teleprompter a lot of the time, or he's got the whole thing scripted out like how he wants it to flow, and he comes up with bits with people. Like his jokes and stuff, the bits he does, those are things he workshops with people. And anybody who like tells me otherwise, I just never believe you. Scripting is just smart? Yeah, I know. It really is. It really is just smart. Actually doing it off the cuff is really difficult.
I can't believe how they screwed this guy over.
He makes an outline beforehand. He does more than that. He scripts out the jokes and stuff too. I know you don't want to believe it. He definitely does. He definitely does. He's not anywhere near. He's still witty. He's still witty when he goes to like live appearances, but it's not the same.
They called him a Nazi. They called him an anti-Semite. They called him all these names, and I believed it. Now I'm watching the show. Now I get it. My clips are going mega viral. My show is going super viral. The cancellation, the censorship, the suppression is being defeated. The hit jobs, the smears, it didn't work. Think about it. Candace Owens and Tucker that have nearly 25 million followers between them, they got together on their show and gossiped about me and tried to ruin my reputation. And it could not have backfired more spectacularly, more decisively, more demonstrably. And now they want to bring in Elon Musk to say I'm a Fed. They're going to talk to Milo, the biggest fucking scum. And everyone knows it. This fraud that has nothing other than malice and malevolence. This Jew who is
okay, whoa. That's not an insult.
Conspicuously been protected from deportation and investigation for years. Now they're all
I don't have as much here as you'd like there to be, Honda Civic Type R, but I've got some. We'll go through it.
Get into bed with this guy? I think that says it all by itself. And in the future, whatever they do to me, kill me, censor me, destroy my reputation, they will look back and say, this is the summer screw job. This is when Nick Fuentes was on a generational run, unstoppable, inevitable, destroying everything, every attempt to crush me, and then they rigged it and they cheated. Then they did this bullshit. Elon's replying to Milo. Milo says, you should ban his Twitter account. Ban his Twitter account. Oy vey, shut it down. Oh, it's bots.
Oh, I see what he's doing. I feel like he should come up with a better. I know, summer screwjob's so awful. But I see what this is. He thinks, oh, they're getting ready to try to deplatform me again. They can see that I'm like better than them at this. And he's trying to preempt that, right? Here's the funny thing. He's trying to preempt that. He's trying to make them think that, like, hey, if you ban me, it's going to prove everything. And you're going to be fucked. Everybody will know I was right. But it won't matter. If he gets banned off of Twitter, it won't matter if everyone knows he's right. Like, it won't stick in a week. If he gets deplatformed again, he's fucked. That's the strategy. That's like, if there was a conspiracy against him, those people, the optimal move for them would be just deplatform him as much as possible. Because you're not winning now, right? But I don't think it's quite as coordinated as he thinks it is and is presenting it. I think he's just a little worried. He's a little paranoid that he might lose his shit again. And losing his shit would be incredibly bad for him, obviously. Worse than, like, even if he says, oh, this will prove everything I'm saying is correct, and he does get banned, and everybody who watches him, even a lot of people who don't watch him, all go, yeah, you were correct. If he doesn't have a way to reach out to people, he doesn't have a way to get his clips out there, he'll be fucked, right?
It's
He's talking like he has an army. He does have an army.
And Iranian bots, you need to look into this and shut it down. Shut it down so we can get what? We can get more of Tucker saying, I love Israel. I support Israel. We just don't like Netanyahu. So we could get more of Candace Owens saying it's the Frankists. It's the Khazarian mafia. It's not the Jews. Well, over my dead body will I let that happen. And they're getting ready. You know, I would imagine it's either censorship or it's death, or they try to get me to sell out. I was telling the group chat from the subscribers earlier this week, I said, you know, the generational run I've been on, the money, the fame, I'll be honest with you, I made a lot of money this summer. I made a lot of money, and it feels good. And I got a lot of support this month.
Hold on.
This year. A lot of
I actually just realized this tonight. Dude, he's getting like insane donations. Like whenever I go to watch his super chats now, it used to be like $5, $3, $5, $5, $20. Now it's like 20, 100, 20, 200, 50, 1,000. He's making like crazy money now. Like it seems like the super chats must be up massively for him.
There's a lot of followers. I'll tell you something. A lot of people are saying, congratulations, I bet it feels good. I have lost any sensitivity to any of that. You want to know why? Because when I was 21 years old, I woke up one day and $500,000 was frozen in my checking account with no explanation. And my face went pale as a ghost.
Is a $100 a month subscription model running now too? Jeez.
Because 4 months after that, I tried to get on an airplane and they told me, you're not allowed to fly today. And I was on the no-fly list for a year. Because I had to spend a quarter.
I know Nick is confident, but whenever someone becomes this egotistical, it usually comes before a fall of some sort. I know what you mean, Ozymandias. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think this is like, he has to do this, right? It's a cult of personality. He has to present this front. You have to present this front.
$250,000 that year just to stay out of prison and hire very expensive attorneys. Because I thought I was facing some kind of charge from the Biden administration. That was the possibility back then. Because I had already lost my YouTube channel. I had already lost my Twitter account, my PayPal. I had been betrayed by my best friends before in high school and in the Groyper movement. So now I'm getting a little bit of notoriety. I'm making a little bit of money. I'll tell you something, it doesn't make a fucking difference to me. And if they ban me tomorrow, and if they froze my money tomorrow, I would go back on Cozy TV, live at 8 o'clock, or midnight, or 3 a.m., or whenever I feel like it.
Wait, is he at least hitting his start time now? Maybe he's actually hitting his start time now that there's some money in it. Dude, he used to miss his start time by like 4 hours all the time.
Because I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the fame or the notoriety. I'm not even doing it to be liked.
Yes, you are.
I don't care if you like me.
Come on,
I don't care
man.
if you give me adulation or praise.
Rumble is owned a big chunk by Teal, yes.
I'm doing it because at 18 years old, I tried to tell the truth about Israel. And from the very beginning, I got screwed over by these fucking people that hate our country. I'm just doing it for pleasure at this point. I am just doing it.
He's an anti-Semite for the love of the game.
For the pleasure. For being a human wrench thrown into the system. That's why I do this. I'm not like Candace Owens, who made $45,000 suing her high school fellow students because they left a racist voice message on her voice machine on her phone in 2017. And then went on to Blexit, and then went on to social autopsy, and then went on to this, that, and the other. Not like Tucker Carlson, who's playing a game. Let me tell you something. I am doing it for the kick. For the pleasure of wiping the smirk off of Charlie Kirk's fucking small, ugly face. I am doing it for the pleasure of shutting down Ben Shapiro and Jonathan Greenblatt and the ADL. All these people that said, Chicago doesn't matter. You're just some kid from Chicago. All these people that said, I support America because America supports Israel. These people that said, if we set up the Constitution on a desert island, that would be America. Go ahead. Try me. Do it. Seriously. We could run it all over again. I didn't come this far after 10 years to now start playing fucking games.
Dude, it's so funny. It's like such obvious cope. I'm sure he does feel like he's gonna get banned, but he's like, oh, I could just do it. I'll keep doing it. Dude, if he gets banned right now, if he were to get like mass deplatformed again, I think he'd kill himself. Like, unironically, I think it would be totally over. I think he would I don't think he can handle that again. He jokes about it. He talked about a little bit. I've seen him talk about like when he got deplatformed the first time. He thought he was done. Like he was like, it was so difficult to keep doing his show and shit, right? He already got banned and unbanned on Twitter in one day. When was that? I mean, bro, this is actually going hard. I'm telling you, the what do you call it? The way this looks, the way it feels to like people anyone with any populist leaning will buy this stuff 100%. It is incredibly compelling speech. It's like he is very good at this. I just don't believe I've totally opted out of the populist stuff. Like I don't like it anymore. I can't get into it, and I just hear it and I'm like, oh, I can see exactly what you're playing on. I can see how you're like coding this, and he's been doing this. People have been watching his show and like kind of drifting off of his talking points for a long time. A lot of the Daily Wire stuff was just Nick Fuentes, okay? Nick Fuentes light. They took out the sugar, which was the Jew hatred, and they put in the aspartame, which was the pro-Israeli stuff, okay? That was what the Daily Wire was for a long time. And now, all of the ways that they would play on populist sentiment, all of the way they'd play on like the will of the mob and shit, all of that is like coded into that audience, and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it themselves, right? None of those personalities are real. None of them stand up against the person who like kind of has been trying to build an audience this way for a long time. It's just like they program their audience to listen to this guy, right? They program their audience to listen to this guy, and now he's going to take over, okay? They made an army of golems for Nick Fuentes, and they didn't realize it, okay? All the golem scrolls, Nick Fuentes has the actual golem scrolls, okay? They built all the golems, and now he's got all the scrolls. So you're saying he is him? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, it's funny to me that Ben Shapiro can obviously, when Israel's getting conspired about, he can go on his shit, he can fire up a video and explain exactly why the conspiratorial mindset is really, really, really horrible when it comes to Israel. But he can't do that when he's preaching conspiracies to his fan base. He's making money doing that, so when it's America that's getting fucked, when it's the American Constitution, the American people, American freedom that's being fucked with, Ben Shapiro doesn't give a fuck, cash the checks. But when people are anti-Semitic, he can go on his stream and explain to you exactly how and why that conspiratorial mindset is bad. That drives me fucking insane. There's nothing more frustrating than that, okay? Oh, actually, it's really bad when you sort of ascribe, like, deeper motives to people for no reason. That's really bad, and, you should never do that. Okay, have you ever listened to anything you've said about Democrats? What conspiracies does Ben Shapiro put out? Ben is not as flagrant himself, but obviously Ben is maybe the majority holder, Daily Wire stake, or Daily Wire, like ownership. He's like the majority owner, right? He's probably got the biggest stake in the company. And Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan, I can think of the retard's name, but Michael Knowles, all of these guys, they absolutely push populist talking points all the time. Candace Owens pushing populist talking points all the time, right? They built an empire on doing populism, mass populism for the right wing, mass grifting. Actually, these people hate you. Actually, these people hate you because you're white, right? They just grifted to all of the people who felt like they were outcast, and they didn't really know why they were doing it, right? Oh, Peterson too. Peterson went after populist people all the time. All of the environmental shit Peterson does that has like no scientific basis, same kind of deal, same kind of conspiratorial bullshit. And now, all those people who they've absolutely egged on into believing in these conspiratorial ways of thinking, egged on in this conspiratorial mindset, right? They tune into Fuentes, they hear somebody who can just do this off the cuff, it feels like it's just natural to them, and they're like, oh, why am I not watching this guy? Why am I watching them?
This is my entire adult life. I'm in it. So, say what you want.
Yeah, sorry, Stalin is Sloth. I'm more talking about as the person who, like, I assume is the architect of the Daily Wire. He has architected a platform that believes in conspiracy theories, and as soon as they stopped being conspiratorial, as soon as they got on message with Israel, I think they've been hemorrhaging people. I think the Daily Wire is broadly just, like, falling off harder and harder. You can see it with Candace going out to her own platform, right? Candace had massive success after the Daily Wire. And so I blame Ben Shapiro from, like, the architecting the Daily Wire standpoint, not really from his own rhetoric. Obviously, he's not as conspiratorial. He's more fact-based than any of them. But everybody around him is not like that.
Say what you want, destroy my reputation. Nothing will stop me. Nothing will stop America first. There has to be one righteous person in this country. And I'm not even saying it's me. I don't even think I'm a very good person, necessarily. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not doing it for the reasons everybody else is doing this stuff.
I'm sorry. He probably has the biggest stake. He's almost certainly the biggest individual holder of stock in that company. Him or Jeremy probably tied, right? Yeah. They did get big investors. They're probably not majority stakeholders in the company. But they do have the biggest, probably individual stake.
Because I've met them all, and I know them all, and they're all full of shit. There's got to be one real nigga.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude.
Can the real nigga please stand up? Nigga. There has to be one real nigga left in America, in this damn country. Are there any real niggas left?
Okay, he won me over. Never mind, we're populist again. Never mind, we're populist again. We're populist. We lost. Okay, the whole thing. That whole thing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but it is funny.
That aren't doing advertisements for gold and fucking pills. Are there any real niggas left that actually got censored and banned on YouTube? Where's the real niggas? And I'll die just to inspire another generation of them.
I don't know if he sticks by that, Fel Pal.
Kanye West, Ye is a real nigga. I'm another kid from Chicago like him. I'm a real nigga. And I know that with everything I've done to this point, notwithstanding whatever happens tomorrow or the next day or any other day, I know there's 1,000 real niggas that are inspired by watching the show. And they may have a lot of people fooled. Maybe in the end of it, they'll have a lot of people fooled. Maybe they'll get you to think I'm a horrible person, whatever. I know there's at least 1,000 real-ass niggas that watch the show, are smart enough to understand what I'm saying. They're going to take this information and they're going to blow up the second Death Star. Whether I'm...
Hold on. Oh, Nick, you're so on message. Nick, Nick, we're off topic. Don't talk about blowing up the Death Star after you've said which people are the Death Star. Uh-oh. Not good. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. That's Fed posting, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Here to see it or not.
If I die, take them out. Is that what I just heard?
A lot of people fooled. Maybe they'll get you to think I'm a horrible person, whatever. I know there's at least 1,000 real-ass niggas that watch the show, are smart enough to understand what I'm saying. They're going to take this information and they're going to blow up the second Death Star. Whether I'm here to see it or not.
Dude, oh boy, yeah, standing back and standing by is...
That's the game. It's a game of generations. What do you think it means?
He's going to say... It's metaphorical. It's a metaphor. We're talking about ideas, okay? I'm just telling you, some people could hear that and they go, oh, what is he ordering people to do? It's something you should probably avoid, but I get it. Yeah, we'll make them die in the holy war last moment. Yeah. He argues that was metaphorical as well.
When I say this is an intergenerational battle, it means it doesn't live and die with me. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about what's right. It's about the truth. It's about America. Fundamentally, it's about
what up,
Jesus
Stephen
Christ
Jillian?
And who rejected
What's
him.
up? What's up?
And how they can never get to the truth. They can never get to God without him. And what they're inflicting on the country as a result of that. So anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna dive into all this. Before we do, remember to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Bring it on. Bring it on. I will keep delivering generational monologues. The generational run.
Okay. Dude, you at least wait until it's received. Wait until you get like a review from somebody. Don't call it a generational monologue the second you end the monologue. Brother. There's no humility with this guy. This was, when I watched that second Fuentes rally, the first thing that struck me is a little bit in line with what, not that one. Whoops, not that one. We don't want that to happen. The first thing that struck me was this comment is something like this, that like, I'm like, dude, this feels like idolatry. Like it was all gold and gaudy, and he talked about how he was going to be like the savior for people, right? It feels a lot like idolatry. I want to say he compared himself to Jesus at one point, either in Fuentes Rally 1 or 2. And I'm like, dude, this is like, I'm definitely not feeling that you are, I'm not sure that you're 100% on board with all the Christian teachings right now. It's a little suspicious. It's like a little suspicious. Compare Nick to this guy. Well, I don't know who that guy is. You expect me to read? Who's this? George Lincoln Rockwell. George Lincoln Rockwell was an American neo-Nazi activist who founded the American Nazi Party and became one of the most notorious white supremacists in the United States until his murder in 1967. His beliefs, strategies, and writings have continued to influence many white supremacists and neo-Nazis. Rockwell coined the expression white power, which was also the title of his posthumously published political manifesto. Wow. Maybe we can look into this guy at another time. Proto Fuentes, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'd have to see a lot more overlap in the beliefs, to be honest with you. So, hold on. What are we looking for? I'm gonna pause right here. Okay, I'm gonna pause right here and just take a look at the Nick Fuentes versus Tucker. I'll go through a couple sections of the Ian Carroll video right now, because I was just interested. If you guys don't know who Ian Carroll is, he's a big conspiracy poster on TikTok and a couple other platforms, okay? He's on YouTube now, 370K subscribers. He does a lot of conspiracy posting. Let's check this person's Wikipedia early life section, okay? That's what he's famous for to me, is he's gonna go, let's check out this early life section over here. All right, that's how I know this guy, okay? Now, given that, he's also been on Candace Owens' shit multiple times. He was the guy who went on Joe Rogan, right? He vague posted about the Holocaust on the Hodge Twins podcast. I believe he did it on Joe Rogan as well. He went on Joe Rogan, and he also did some like very strong JQ adjacent stuff, okay? It's hard to describe it exactly. It's like, it's not quite going like fuck the Jews, but it's like, it's really weird how Israel kind of has a finger in all of these bad things for America, isn't it? It's like a lot of stuff like that. Oh, shit. And also, Anna Kasparian just went on Joshua Cittarella's Doom Scroll. Fuck, there's a lot of content right now. Oh, shit. Didn't Candace originally single boost this guy when he was a nobody? Candace was single boosting this guy when he was blowing up on TikTok. I don't know if she was the reason for it, but she did platform him a lot, and he is a close ally of hers. So it's very interesting to me that this guy is like he's consistently been on Candace's side, and now it seems like he might be flipping, because this isn't really Nick Fuentes versus Tucker Carlson. This is like Nick Fuentes versus Tucker Carlson at the behest of Candace Owens, right? As Candace Owens brings it up. Isn't he posted on her channel? I believe he is. Like, yeah, they're close partners. So it's very interesting to me that Ian Carroll would be boosting Fuentes through this whole thing. He's known as controlled op to Groypers. Okay. That's possible, but man, he's, I don't know, man. Why would he be controlled opposition and going against the people here? Like Tucker Carlson, CIA connections, Israel's buying more influencers. Israel supports starving Gaza, Israelis support starving Gaza, rather. Not Israel supporting starving Gaza. Trump bans DEI on campuses except for Jews. Congress takes vacation in Israel. Like, he's got blinders on, okay? He's got one mission, and it's making sure people are aware of Israel's actions, okay? That's what he's focused on all the time.
Now, on to Nick Fuentes, and the main story of the week, in my opinion. In probably most people's opinion. What started out as an unforced error by Tucker Carlson has ballooned into what feels like a turning point in right-wing American politics.
A turning point.
Last week. It started
in the USA
when Tucker interviewed Candace on his show, and they both attacked Nick Fuentes openly and called him sort of a controlled opposition, bad faith actor who is presumably here to delegitimize like sane voices.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna back this up. We'll start this over again. People keep asking for the Xena stuff. The Xena stuff's not that long. I could just do the Xena stuff, and then people could stop asking, okay? We'll just do the Xena stuff really quickly, and then people can stop asking.
Carlson has ballooned into what feels like a turning point in right-wing American politics this last week. It started a week prior when Tucker interviewed Candace on his show, and they both attacked Nick Fuentes openly and called him sort of a controlled opposition, bad faith actor who is presumably here to delegitimize like sane voices. Nick fired back a week ago, publishing last week's Friday stream all about Tucker Carlson's history and his father's history, and it went super viral. I think that the best way to summarize it is just to watch this Studio Ghibli edit that presumably a fan made of the exchange.
You just interviewed Nick Fuentes.
I did.
Or had a conversation with him. What did...
Okay. No way. I'm going to start this segment off. Sorry, I need to send a couple messages really quickly. I'm going to start this off with Ghibli slop, with AI slop. Let's go.
What do you think of that? What do you think of him?
My experience with Nick Fuentes is that he's a terrible person and a terrible human being.
But he is clearly part of a campaign to discredit.
I'm sorry, we're skipping past the AI slop.
Regardless of
let's continue
and everything. And it took the internet by storm, like art. Edits like that of the stream went super viral. And then the Groypers and everyone that is pro Nick Fuentes started digging into Tucker and exposing all kinds of old clips and stuff like that. So, I mean, love him or hate him, it was powerful. Well, last Friday night, this most recent one, Nick aired part 2 of his Tucker Carlson expose. And once again, he was on fire all night long. I don't even mean ideologically, although I think that too. Like, even if you disagree with him, just looking at the skill of orating, the skill of weaving together a live stream, a show, which is not easy to do. Nick is one of the best to do it in 2025. And this was one of his best ever. And it was all live. There was no script. There was none of this. I mean, obviously he has producers and he had information and like a screen to help him with his facts, but it was all live. And that is super impressive. This week, he didn't actually target Tucker as much as the entire mainstream conservative media apparatus, the neoconservative movement, and the CIA largely. It was highly...
Soapbox Society, thank you for the 5 gifted. Let's go. That's another 2 hours on the stream. We go up to 6 hours now. It's 2:29. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the support, guys. Love you. Let's continue on.
Informative, and you should watch it. If you do, Nick's show is on Rumble, and you have to skip about an hour and 40 minutes in because Nick has like an hour and a half of B-roll pre-stream edit stuff that I don't really understand, but I think I'm just an old man because I don't understand how streaming works. It seems to work fine for him. So just skip way in until you see his green shirt. With highly polarizing figures like Nick Fuentes or Alex Jones or any of these people that...
The hour and a half start time, by the way, is just like him not wanting to wake up. I'm pretty sure.
Get big smear campaigns, you should really go directly to the source. Don't let other people gatekeep for you. Don't let them tell you what to think of him. Go watch for yourself and form your own opinion. And know that it is complicated and there's a lot of backstory. And Nick has said a lot of things in the past, a lot of things in the present, and you know, you gotta judge carefully and kindly and cautiously and think for yourself. Now, during the stream, Nick covered a lot of information and wove together a lot of history. Now Pat Buchanan is going super viral. If you know, you know. Groypers are all posting Pat Buchanan hype tracks all over Twitter. But one of the central points that Nick teased out was the difference between being anti-neoconservative, anti-Zionist, anti-Israel, versus actually talking about Jewish identity as a part of that issue. Why it matters, in Nick's opinion, to actually discuss the critical Jewish element in the middle of...
So I called this guy from like the very beginning. It's not like it took a lot, but it's like this guy, when I was like looking... When I watched this Candace Owens thing, I'm like, oh, this guy's just like an actual anti-Semite. Like, I don't know if he thought he was slick, or I don't know if Candace is retarded, but like, he's literally like going through, I think one of the original Diddy lawsuits, and showing like all of the Jewish people connected to Diddy. Like, he goes to their Wikipedia page and scrolls down to early life and highlights this and goes, now, pay attention to this. It's not going to be important now, but might be important later. Right? It's very interesting that...
divide.
He seems transparent about what he's going for.
And honestly, I used to fall more on Tucker's side of this debate than on Nick's. I used to share Tucker's perspective that Nick was rash and toxic and went about talking about these things in ways that were too extreme and too racial and would delegitimize the conversation. And there is an argument to be made that Nick has changed his tune over the last year or two as he has grown up and gotten more skilled and more mature and maybe just changed his strategy a little bit. Nick certainly did used to be more rebellious and flippant and dismissive and just, young. And that's fine. Nick actually talked about that in this live stream. But as the genocide in Gaza has gone on over the last 2 years, and we've seen the Israeli faction's mask come off more and more, it's become more and more obvious how right Nick is in a lot of ways. Not all Jewish people support Israel, but all Jewish people who support Israel support it because they are Jewish. Right? Like, it's an extremely uncomfortable conversation for everyone, especially if you were raised in this like politically correct era in America that I was and that Tucker was and that everyone else was. Like, unless you're really young, right? Like Nick's age and younger, and Nick's not like that young, but like these, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, these guys have been growing up in a world that is slightly more awake to the wokeness, so to speak. But race matters, right? Like, these things matter. They're real. They're not like, you can't just dismiss them from the conversation as though they weren't a factor in reality, right? Like, would the US government ever hire a Chinese national to work with classified military secrets? No, right? Like, that would be a dumb idea. China is trying to steal our classified military secrets. They always are. So it would be idiotic to hire Chinese nationals into those programs that they are trying to steal information from, right? Like, even if they weren't loyal to China, how would you ever know that for sure?
He's laying it out, guys. Like, racial discrimination makes some sense sometimes, right? You can't just allow, like, Chinese people, that's nationality, lol, not because they're Asian. I think you could make that argument, but then, there's just a weird overlap here, where you could say, this guy not know about the Chinese university connection? Wasn't that more in Canada than it is in the States? But nationality can be a big factor. But what is it? I think like 90%, 95% of Jews have some actual connection or meaningful connection towards Israel, positive feelings, right? It's probably just like a principled thing. I don't know, because on the one hand, the Chinese thing makes total sense to me, right? Sorting by ethnic group doesn't make sense. But oh man. As a country that's had a lot of secrets, a lot of research secrets stolen by China, okay? As somebody from one of these countries, I feel like, yeah, I feel this, okay? I feel it.
Right? You would be worried about the possibility in a way that you wouldn't be worried if you had hired like Norman McAllister or like, right? The same is true for a Russian. The US wouldn't hire a Russian to be our Secretary of State, obviously, right? Well, the existence of the State of Israel, unfortunately, makes Jews fit into this same category of foreign nationals with potential, even probable allegiance to another nation over this one, over America. And this is not some new idea. This was actually raised as an objection by Jews during the earliest talks about Zionism. And it was offered as a reason not to undertake the Zionist project. Because Jews are a stateless people living as guests and immigrants in other nations. And if you build a Jewish state, then that would cast suspicion on all Jewish people around the world as secretly working on behalf of the Jewish state, not their host nation. Right?
Okay. That could be true. It was raised as an objection. That doesn't mean it's like a good thing or something justifiable. Jews as a group, when they get but like persecuted in multiple countries, they're like, hey, people like don't trust us. What would happen if we did this? They'd not trust us like even more. Doesn't mean it's like okay or it's something you should go like, oh, it makes total sense. They'd probably think like, oh, these people are racist. They're gonna fuck with us.
Nick elaborated in detail on how and why Jews so often became spies during the Cold War because of their Jewish identity and their inherent allegiance to Judaism over their own nation, and how this went both ways. American Jews spying on the Soviet Union, like Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, or Soviet Jews spying for the Americans. But when you introduce the Zionist project into the mix, you start to get Jews spying on behalf of Israel, like Jonathan Pollard or Arnon Milchan. There's a long list of these. Back in the day, they had to be secretive about it. But now, they just do it out in the open. This is how you get Ben Shapiro saying that the single greatest guarantor of his allegiance to America is the existence of Israel, meaning he supports America because and only as long as it is good for Israel. Right? Like, it's so...
What would Ben say if you asked him that question directly? Because I know... Sorry, I don't know. I feel like this was Avi's position, wasn't it? Dr. Avi? Having a country isn't bad for them, but it is good to recognize that Jews are a nation, not a political state. What? A nation, not a political state. What does that mean? Jews are a nation, not a political state. I don't even know what that means. Wait, so Jews loyal to the US, not Israel, which existed, I believe, when the atomic secrets were stolen. To the SU? Soviet Union, not Israel. Sure. Although, I thought that thing that happened there, Stalinisloth, where they stole the nuclear secrets. Also, if you're going to write Soviet Union, do USSR, right? But, man, I thought when those got stolen, I thought they also got passed to Israel, and that's how Israel built their bomb. Am I crazy? By nation, I mean an ethnic group. I mean, oh man, it's so hard. It's so hard. Wait, that was different? Okay. I thought it was the same thing. I thought it was the same people in like 52, 50, somewhere in the 50s. Pretty sure the nuclear tech they got was stolen from France. Angleton traded nuke info for intel on the USSR. Okay. Fuck. I should look up more of this stuff. I need to be able to, if I want to debunk, you know, suspicious talking points, okay? If I want to be a strong advocate of the nation of Israel, I should be more familiar with some of these talking points.
It's frustrating to talk about because it feels like we live in backwards world. Like, where literally every day Twitter is filled with Jews advocating Israel first policies and Israel first propaganda and opinions, and they simultaneously say that it is anti-Semitic to say that Jews would ever work together or have greater allegiance to Israel than to their own nation, despite the fact that so many clearly do and aren't shy about saying so openly, like in one breath, Israel, everything, Israel first, Israel defend itself, Israel, and in the very next breath, you're anti-Semitic for saying that a Jewish person would put Israel's interests over their own countries?
Well, so, dude, I think Avi is like conservative already. Yeah. I could have sworn there was like a thread where Avi was talking about like what would have prevented him from voting Trump. And like the only thing that would have prevented him from voting Trump was if he'd floated the idea of revoking weapons from Israel, like cutting funding to Israel the way Biden did. That was like his answer. It's like, dude, how could you vote for somebody who's like trying to overthrow your country, who like literally doesn't care about your constitution, pisses on your constitution because he's the one who will give Israel like a blank check for whatever they want to do in Gaza? That's crazy. Yeah, this is bullshit. The IHRA, that definition was crazy. That fits like so many things,
right? Like, we can all see it. We all have eyes and ears and brains, most of us. And Nick Fuentes just isn't afraid to talk about it. I think that people over the age of 40, like Tucker probably included, don't realize just how many people are listening to Fuentes and waiting for anyone to debate him. Like anyone at all. Because it's becoming more and more apparent that the only reason Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro wouldn't want to debate him is because they know that they would lose dramatically. A caller actually lied his way onto Charlie Kirk's show this last week and asked him why he won't debate Nick Fuentes. And Charlie's response was hilarious. Check this out.
Avi voted Trump because he was in New York. Wait, are you sure that he voted Trump because he's in New York only? Because I thought Avi was like right-wing politically in Israel. Like if he was... I thought Avi was generally right-wing. Is Avi not generally right-wing? Because I could have sworn Avi said, like, he's generally right-wing. One Tokover, how certain are you of this? That he only voted for Trump because he's in New York?
Let's go to Nathaniel. Nathaniel, thank you so much for being a member. What's on your mind?
Hi, Charlie. As a TPUSA chapter founder and president, I've seen firsthand how the tide is turning among young conservatives. I say, if you truly believe in open debate in the marketplace of ideas, will you ever be willing to debate Nick Fuentes, or will you wait until his movement forces you to adopt his talking points, as we've seen already?
You know, it's funny. I personally do not give a platform.
Dude. It's like a cartoon. It's so uncanny every time you see it. It's just like a cartoon every fucking time.
Bad faith actors. And I had a whole open about this. And by the way, a really important thing is not to lie and to not bear false testimony. It's fine, I'll answer your question. You know, you said, oh, you know, I want to have a question about Turning Point events. And you obviously lied about your question. Doesn't surprise me because you have deceit. But you know what? Honestly, I'm asked that question all the time. I don't platform trolls. And I don't platform and I don't discuss people or I don't debate with people that are not good faith actors. And
you debate Maoists and people who champion.
They can keep on yelling at how successful we are and our big events and well over 1,000 employees, but a lot of jealousy out there. We build, they complain. We succeed, we win. They blame the Jews. Thank you. Next question.
A lot of jealousy out there. A lot of jealousy. That's why he won't debate Nick Fuentes, because he's got a big organization, a lot of money, a lot of donors. Hey, Jeej, why don't you go lie down, babe? So yeah, it's all jealousy. Nick Fuentes is just jealous of how many donors Charlie Kirk has, of how big of an organization Charlie Kirk has. I mean, A, Charlie couldn't answer the question, and B, he's like, I see you're dishonest. I see you lied your way into the conversation. I don't answer trolls. Nick reacted to this clip on his show on Friday as well. And it's just so obvious that Charlie has no answer because he can't, because his opinion on Israel is colored by his donors, by an agenda that is not based in facts or America First ideology. And if forced to debate the merits of the U.S.-Israel relationship, that would be made plain and apparent. So instead, Charlie has to go with this hollow avoidance strategy. I don't debate trolls. Well, Charlie, most of your YouTube videos are getting like 40 to 100,000 views, it looks like, from my scroll of your channel.
Oh, God.
Your channel...
Don't compare Nick Fuentes' Rumble views.
Well, has like 4 million subscribers on YouTube.
I mean, I hate Charlie Kirk as much as the next guy, but why would he ever debate or platform Nick? Nick is monitor poison. What do you mean monitor poison? I don't even know what you mean by that. Why would he debate Nick? Because I'd say Charlie Kirk tries to present himself as like a America First conservative, but he does take a lot of donations and he does support Israel like kind of uncritically, like categorically and uncritically, right? That in ways that do cut against his advocacy. I meant monetary. Monetary poison? Yeah, that's the reason he doesn't debate him. You're right. Is I think his donors wouldn't like that. I think if you're supposed to be somebody who like argues that America shouldn't be interventionist, you argue against American intervention like everywhere, you cannot also be like somebody who argues that America should stand up and defend Israel in every sense. And I think Charlie Kirk's very much like that. Charlie Kirk's very much anti-interventionist, and he kind of just doesn't want, like, it doesn't jive. Isn't Prager his boss? I think PragerU is like very closely affiliated or funds in some way, yes. Yeah, I know. I brought up Groyper War and shit before on here. Couldn't Charlie Kirk just say that Nick isn't anti-Israel, but he is actually anti-Semitic? He can say that. He does say that. But the problem is there's a whole bunch of people who will criticize Charlie Kirk for not giving Charlie's debating Son on Israel instead. So people will criticize Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk just has to stand up to the criticism, right? Like, he has to just deal with the criticism being made. That, like, hey, you present yourself as, like, a populist. You're close to Trump. You act like Trump's, like, your hero. But you are super, like, pro-intervention when it comes to Israel. Like, you're pro-American supporting... America supporting Israel, right? It doesn't jive with the rest of, like, your thoughts, it seems like. And that's essentially how everybody criticizes Charlie Kirk, who's a part of the Groyper movement, right? And I think that sentiment is starting to like rise up a lot in mainstream right-wing circles, and Charlie's having to deal with it a lot more. And so he might feel some pressure to like go and say, no, I'm not just like a shill for Israel or something. That's crazy.
Nick Fuentes has just a few 100,000 followers on Rumble. Not even on YouTube, over on Rumble. And in just 24 hours, this Friday's episode was pushing 400,000 views. Last Friday's episode is getting close to 1 million. He's viral everywhere. Everyone is watching him. Everyone is talking about him. And they aren't saying he's a troll. No one thinks he's not a troll. They're saying that he's got good points and that you should debate him. Nick certainly isn't acting like a troll. He's presenting legitimate arguments and cogent opinions. He's offering in good faith to debate you. And you know damn well that if you took that debate, it would be one of the most viral moments on the internet of the entire year, regardless of who won, regardless of what happened. You know that. We all know that. It's blatantly transparent that the mainstream avoidance of Nick Fuentes is a fear response. And so, what's Tucker up to? Well, based on all the evidence that's come out on...
Tucker Carlson's a CIA cutout. Ready for Friday? Are you going to cover it? Trump and Putin legit fucking Europe. Oh. I've heard about this. I'm not totally sure what's going to happen there. I've not looked into it a whole bunch.
You think your little games playing around, that's interesting. Oh, we're going to impugn his motivations. You think that's going to stop me? Really? Nothing stops a generational run. You know what my name is? Look up what my name means. I'm the people's champion from birth. That's on Groyper.
Oh, that is not... No, why did you say that's on Groyper? You can't... Oh! That's a super unforced error right there. That's a super unforced error. Did you see? Denims was watching Gila Klein's Red Bar exercise video? No shot.
Smash the follow button, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know anything about the show. Check out the Sam Hyde collaboration finally dropped over the weekend. Talk about wholesome. That's a real nigga as well. Love that man, Sam Hyde. My biggest inspirations, Ye, Sam Hyde, Donald Trump.
It stings a little.
Alex Jones.
It does sting a little.
These are real niggas. But the Sam Hyde interview dropped. Everybody's loving it. You know, people are talking about the fit. I was wearing this like leather jacket. His idea.
Someone was bringing up...
So credit where it's due.
Okay. I'll maybe check that out. Just getting some water real quick. Did we watch Nick Sam Hyde yet? We watched a little bit of it at the beginning. It was, But you know, people are talking about the fit. I was wearing this like leather jacket. His idea. Give me 2 seconds.
So credit
water.
where it's due. But I hope you check it out. It's on YouTube. I reposted. I think it's just like a trailer for it on Twitter. But everybody was loving it. And it was really great to sit down with him. I haven't done any collaboration with Sam in like 5 years. Since January 2020. That's when we did the Q video, the Ronald McDonald. So it was kind of a special thing because in many ways we've both been through a lot of the same stuff. We both were based and really on the same page back in 2017. And then we both got canceled for our politics. And I know we both grappled with this, like trying to survive under censorship and pressure to conform and things like that. So it was like a real recognized real moment. And the whole crew is great there. I met the whole crew. Those guys are all phenomenal, all really funny. Ryan, I've known a long time. He is just one of the finest people ever. I mean, seriously, Ryan Rivera, who used to work with Gavin, now works with Sam. I've known him for, 7 years, and that is one of the realest guys out there, real homie. But they're all phenomenal. So anyway, so go ahead and check that out. That's on YouTube. And I guess we'll dive into the show. So now, look.
Okay, I'm back. Is Nick dating a black woman? Why is he talking like this? He just cooks the way he sees fit, okay?
Actually,
that's how he works.
To dive into some of the information tonight. We're going to unpack all the allegations.
All right, we got that segment finished.
His name is JSTLK, but
all right, where are we gonna go next?
Hey, JSTLK. Oh, how do we spell it? JSTLK. It's like a secret language. It's